Immortal clan, starting with the power of the dragon and the tiger. Welcome back, brave explorers of impossible worlds. We are excited to have you here to continue this odyssey together. Before we continue, everything you'll hear is pure fiction, so please don't try to replicate combat techniques at home. This wonderful story and all its rights belong to its brilliant original author. We are only the messengers of entertainment. Want another dose of adventure? Subscribe to our YouTube channel so you don't miss a single chapter, and if you can't wait, our Patreon has exclusive surprises you'll love. Chapter 26, Before the Age of 20, The Talent of a Grandmaster. Ask me for advice. Su Zhen's eyes glared, stunned yet also tempted to teach him a lesson. Second uncle, how dare that Su family brat hurt my son? Teach him a lesson. Su Mao fanned the flames. Yang Zhao was equally surprised. Brother Su, your eldest son is a bit overconfident. I've heard of Su Zhen before. While his talent is average, he's been a first-rate martial artist for over a decade and possesses considerable experience. He's not comparable to those who have just reached the realm of first-rate martial artists. Su Chuan waved his hand dismissively. Let's give the brat a hard time. Yang Zhao said no more. You're truly formidable. Alright, I won't cheat you either. If you can withstand 3 of my blows, you win. Su Zhen didn't want to leave in disgrace. If he could severely injure Su Mingwei in a head-on duel, then face wouldn't matter. Second Master Su, just go for it. Su Mingwei laughed, his breath like the roar of a dragon or the cry of an elephant. He unleashed a punch, a whistling wind. Su Zhen also retaliated with a punch. Bang! Tap! Tap! Su Mingwei remained motionless, but Su Zhen retreated several steps before stopping. Su Mao and the other younger members of the Su family were all dumbfounded, their faces filled with shock. The others were also stunned, and an uproar broke out, whispers surging like a tide. How young is this kid? He can actually knock back a veteran, top-tier warrior with a single punch. Yes, even if Su Zhen isn't at the peak of his powers, he's no match for a junior. Could he already be a top-tier warrior? Not even 20 yet. He's got the makings of a grandmaster. In major counties, a grandmaster appears only once every few decades, even centuries. Su Zhen was equally horrified. The force of that punch, a combined burst of energy and internal strength. He held back not a bit, yet he was still knocked back by a single blow. This clearly showed that his opponent's strength surpassed his own. Second uncle, why did you hold back? There's no need to be polite to a man like him. Su Zhen glared at him coldly. This is all your fault. He pulled a small porcelain vase from his sleeve and tossed it to Su Mingwei. I've witnessed your Su family's abilities today, so I won't bother you anymore. Come back to the martial arts gym with me. Su Zhen said nothing more, leading everyone except Su Mao back to the Black Wind martial arts gym. Su Chuan smiled faintly and looked at Su Mao. Brother Su, do you have a gift too? Su Chuan, don't be so proud. My Su family has the county magistrate's backing. If you offend my family, you'll have a rough life. Su Chuan was stunned and turned to look at Yang Zhao. Yang Zhao was already upset at Su Mao's previous insults, and now that he dared to use his name to deceive, his patience was gone. Su Mao, you say you have County Magistrate Yang behind you, but look at me now, who am I? Su Mao had never met Yang Zhao, and only his eldest uncle had met him twice. But he was always arrogant. He glanced at Yang Zhao with disdain and said calmly, aren't you just a calligrapher hired by Su Chuan? I advise you to know the situation and leave as soon as possible. Don't get involved with the Su family, otherwise, you'll have something to worry about. Okay, Yang Zhao laughed in anger. At that moment, several Yamen runners approached. They were patrolling the West Market. Seeing the crowd gathered, they came to take a look. They had originally just been there to see if the newly opened shop was profitable. But when they saw Yang Zhao, they immediately stepped forward, bowed, and said, Greetings, Your Excellency, the county magistrate. The moment these words came out, everyone around was shocked. How could the county magistrate show up in a small fruit shop and personally write an inscription for it? What kind of background does this Su family have? Greetings, Your Excellency, the county magistrate. They might not know the county magistrate, but the Yamen runners who came and went in the county government office would definitely recognize him. The people around them also bowed. Bai Jing and the others were also surprised. They had never expected that Su Chuan had hired the county magistrate of Qingjiang County. You're the county magistrate, Su Mao? You've insulted the appointed official, using your position to bully others and commit crimes. The others, Arrest him, take him back to the county government office, and throw him into jail. Yes, county magistrate. Su Mao pretended not to hear, his mind lost, and he slumped to the ground. Brother Daming, Su Chuan called out, recognizing one of the Yamen runners. Su Chuan, Chen Daming replied. Yang Zhao glanced at Chen Daming. Do you know him, Brother Su? We're from the same village. His father was very caring towards me since I was a child, but since we each started our own families and careers, we haven't seen each other much, and it's been years. I see. Yang Zhao glanced at Chen Daming and said, take Su Mao back first. Chen Daming's heart was pounding, sweat breaking out on his forehead, fearing Su Chuan would say something bad about him in front of Yang Zhao. Only then did he feel completely at ease. I didn't expect Su Chuan to be so familiar with the county magistrate, and to have kept a secret all these years. He's incredibly scheming. However, they left not long after. They ran into Steward Wang, who had come to deliver a gift at the behest of Third Master Su. Steward Wang, quickly find my father and my uncle, please save me. Su Mao felt as if he had found a savior. Steward Wang, terrified, thrust a few taels of silver into his hand and hurriedly inquired. He then learned that Su Mao had offended County Magistrate Yang, and panic spread. We've also been ordered to arrest him, and we need to return to the county government office. We'll go ahead, Chen Daming said, leading Su Mao on the way. Su Mao continued to shout, Steward Wang, it's Su Chuan who's ruined me. Let my father avenge me. Steward Wang, naturally disregarding any gifts, immediately returned to the Su family and reported the incident. Godfather, you're amazing. That Su Mao is a wicked man. Yesterday he came to my house and tried to steal my Xiaobei and my Qingyu pears. You must teach him a lesson. Zuji will treat you to pears. Little expert in reporting, Su Mingshu, began to report again. Okay, Godfather will definitely give him a good scolding for you. Yang Zhao didn't linger long. After writing his inscription, he returned to the county government office. He felt he'd been used. But he had no proof. He'd come out in casual clothes to witness the opening, write his inscription, and then leave. Who could have imagined so much would happen? The Su family fruit shop had finally opened successfully after many twists and turns. Even without the green jade pear, word of mouth would soon spread among the county's prominent families about the Su family's close relationship with the county magistrate, and countless people would flock to the shop. After the business opened normally, the Su family returned to their West Market residence, leaving only Zhou Ming and a few hired servants to tend to the business. Although Su Chuan had expected someone from the Su family to cause trouble, he hadn't expected Su Mao to be so cooperative, anticipating his plans in allowing him to achieve 3 birds with 1 stone. He had no grudge against the Su family, but Su Mao's years of making things difficult for him had disgusted him. So, he'd set a trap for him to fall into. If he hadn't come, nothing would have happened. But now he had offended Yang Zhao. Even if he doesn't die, he will lose a layer of skin, and the Su family will also be seriously injured. West Market. Su family compound, hall. Bai Jing looked at Su Chuan and asked curiously, Husband, I didn't expect that you actually knew the county magistrate and invited him, otherwise the situation would not end well. I have met him a few times and have some friendship. Su Chuan took a sip and said lightly. Su Mingyun also had a gossipy look on his face. Dad, why haven't I heard you mention it before? With this connection, my Su family might have extended its reach to Qingjian County a long time ago. Mutual interactions also require equality of status. My Su family has developed to this day and has the foundation to interact with people like the county magistrate, but it is forbidden to act in his name outside, otherwise Su Mao today will be the fate of my Su family in the future. Yes, Dad, Su Mingwei and others all responded. With the county magistrate's personal inscription and the finest fruits like the green jade pear, along with other fruits and vegetables carefully selected by the Su family from individual vendors, the Su family's fruit shop was a constant stream of customers, many of whom returned. The Su family's sons also achieved immense fame in the county. Before they were 20, they had the potential to become masters, was the proverbial saying. In a short time, the Su family became the new elite of Qingjiang. Chapter 27 Su family's business layout. Dongxi village. The Su family mansion. Third brother, the Su family patriarch knocked his knuckles against the table, his eyes slightly red and bloodshot. Su Mao is your own flesh and blood, and my family has already spared no expense to save him. His brows furrowed slightly, as if frozen by frost, and his lips pursed in a weariness that betrayed a sleepless night. Suddenly, he looked up, his gaze as deep as a cold pond. He said calmly, "When he's freed in a few days, if he causes trouble again, our Su family will be powerless to stop him." "So, you know the severity of this?" Third Master Su's throat trembled slightly, his knuckles widening from pinching his sleeves. After a long pause, he nodded heavily, his dark sleeves falling like a waterfall. "Don't worry, big brother. As for the Su family," the Su family patriarch Silverbeard trembled with a sigh, his eyes filled with melancholy. After a long pause, he rested his hands on his knees and sighed, "From now on, our Su family will treat anyone from the Su family with courtesy and not provoke them." Neither Su Zhen nor Third Master Su objected. The Su family's rise was like a raging fire, sweeping away everything in its path. It was beyond the power of our Su family to stop. A genius with the potential of a master, even on good terms with a county magistrate. Even the county's aristocratic families would treat him with courtesy. Thinking of Su Chuan, the Su family patriarch sighed, stroking his silver beard, a mixture of disdain and admiration. In the past, he was just scraping by in our mansion, bowing his head and hunching his back, like an ant on the steps. But now he has such a great fortune. Life is truly unpredictable. Unfortunately, our Su family lacks such talent. The Su family had already begun to decline after only 3 generations. Even in the 4th generation, there were no members to prosper the family, and many troublemakers emerged, burdening the family. I'm afraid that by the 5th generation, selfishness will have divided the family, completely ruining the family business. Few families in the world can stand out. Only by carrying on the achievements of 3 generations and working together can a family last for centuries and lay the foundation for an aristocratic family. A few days later, Su Mao was released from the county jail and taken back to the Su family's mansion in a carriage. "Where are they? Did you see I'm home, young master? You didn't even offer me a cup of tea, you bunch of idiots. I'm docking your wages," Su Mao roared in the hall. Immediately, Third Master Su and 2 guards entered. "Father, the maids and servants in this house are so irresponsible. I suggest we sell them off and replace them with a new batch." Seeing Third Master Su's scowl, Su Mao ignored it and said with a hint of blame, "No, I just got back, and you're already giving me a cold shoulder. Don't you think it's bad luck?" "Bad luck? Giving birth to a son like you is my biggest bad luck," Third Master Su shouted. "You two, hold this rebellious son down. Today I'm going to break his legs to prevent him from causing trouble again and ruining the Su family's foundation." The guards did as they were told. "How dare you? Let me go." "Father, are you serious? I'm your only son." Third Master Su raised his stick, tilted his head back, and closed his eyes, his face a look of struggle and reluctance. But Su Mao's next word solidified his resolve. "You old thing. I'm almost dead. If you break my legs, who'll see you off to the grave, you beast?" Master Su's eyes widened, and without hesitation, he swung the wooden stick and hit it hard. Bang bang bang! Miserable howls echoed in the courtyard. The maids and servants didn't dare to get close, but when they heard the sound, the depression in their hearts suddenly eased a little, and they felt a little relieved. "Brother, I heard that Su Mao of the Su family had his leg broken by his father." "Tisk tisk, how cruel, but it's really gratifying." Ha ha ha! Su Ming soon came back from the martial arts gym and heard the news. He was overjoyed and hurried to Su Mingwei. "Master Su-san is decisive, but if it were our father, I think he would be even more ruthless. If he encountered an unfilial descendant, he would probably just execute him and put an end to it." "No way, Father loves us so much, that's why Father taught us so earnestly to prevent such a thing from happening." Combining kindness with strictness, Su Mingwei patted him on the shoulder. "Fortunately, Father has taught us brothers very well, so you don't have to worry." "Tantao, brother, you always scare me." A few more days passed. Su Chuan called Su Mingwei to his side to discuss the future business development of the Su family. "Yuan, tell me your future plans first." Su Chuan handed over almost all the business affairs of the Su family to Su Mingwei. Su Mingwei pondered for a moment. "Now, our Su family is well known in Qingjiang County, a veritable rising star of Qingjiang. Big brother has the potential to become a master, and his name is known throughout Qingjiang. Also, my father is close to County Magistrate Yang. I've heard that even the County Magistrate has to be in awe of him, so, I think we should first stabilize the fruit shop, then open a branch in 3 months, and within a year, we'll have it in the East Market." earning money from those wealthy merchants, a chain store? With our Su family's reputation, we'll see benefits quickly, but it's still a bit wasteful. Chuan smiled faintly. What do you think is the most valuable thing about our Su family right now? Reputation. Reputation, it's our friendship with County Magistrate Yang, Chuan said, but friendships have a time limit. Nowadays, many wealthy merchants value this friendship very much. They see it as profitable to befriend us, and if we're close to County Magistrate Yang, they'll give us concessions on everything we do. However, whether it's reputation or the stone's potential, it all depends on the future. The longer the time, the more important reputation becomes. As time passes, Shitao will continue to break through, even reaching the Xiantian realm. He will also gain the support of many in Qingjiang. But not right now. Right now, the most valuable thing is our relationship with the county magistrate. Therefore, this year is the most crucial period for our Su family's development. Let the wealthy merchants of Qingjiang County see our Su family's potential, and shift from friendships that allow us to approach County Magistrate Yang to a bond of shared interests. Then, the benefits will compound, snowballing into ever-growing growth. Su Mingyu nodded, agreeing that Chuan's words made perfect sense. But, Father, how exactly should we do this? The basic needs of the common people are simply 4 words: food, clothing, shelter, and transportation. Open a winery, a restaurant, a clothing store, a department store, and a perfume shop. Use the profits from the fruit shop to complete our business layout in Qingjiang County within a year. Chuan began to hand over to Su Mingyu the recipes for various wines, clothing designs, and cooking recipes he had researched over the years. Su Mingyu held a booklet, his eyes widening, almost as if they were about to pop out of their sockets. He was stunned. She was simply stunning. These are all accumulated over a decade by your father. I'm handing them over to you. Make good use of them. Although Chuan was a time traveler, he wasn't omnipotent. He only had a basic understanding of the winemaking process and methods. He had to modify everything from memory to suit his current preferences, including soaps, perfumes, and toothbrushes. These were all valuable assets. If he could reveal them at the right opportunity, he could quickly amass a fortune. Previously, Chuan held a low position, knowing that rash exposure would be disastrous rather than beneficial, so he always kept a low profile. But now was the perfect time. With the support of County Magistrate Yang and the masterful potential of Shitao, many aristocratic families would soon become wary of the Su family. They could then expand without restraint and rapidly complete their business expansion. In just 2 or 3 years, even if the aristocratic families of Qingjiang County wanted to attack the Su family, they would have to consider whether they were willing to fight to the death. Thank you, Father. A Yuan will never let you down. Su Mingyu's pupils suddenly constricted, and flames seemed to rise in his eyes, blazing their dark pupils with a translucent glow. Seeing the Su family's potential, many families in Qingjiang County were eager to establish friendly relations with him. Chuan would visit Yangzhou regularly, fostering a sense of affection. Sometimes, they would discuss public welfare governance, catering to Yangzhou's interests. Although Yangzhou knew Chuan had his own ulterior motives, he learned a great deal from him and was willing to keep in touch. Upon hearing that the Su family's fruit shop was booming, Su Yan sent Chen Ergao to learn about its business practices. Chuan simply explained that Su Mingyu was responsible for these matters. Chen Ergao, growing older and more concerned about his reputation, was too embarrassed to ask a nephew for advice, so the matter was dropped. The Chen family's fruit shop was doing just fine. Fortunately, no one came to cause trouble, allowing them to live a peaceful life. Crucially, Su Mingyu had little time for the Chen family. He was busy planning the Su family's business expansion, recruiting people to secretly brew wine and tailor clothing, and then opening a restaurant. A month later, a new restaurant called Qianyuan opened in Zixi. Its innovative and delicious dishes were brisk daily. Next came the winery, Qianyuan. This meant the wines here were worth a fortune. Because brewing took time, even though Su Mingyu had recruited numerous brewers, it took 3 months for the official opening. They offered yellow rice wine, white wine, and fruit wine, each earning its own elegant nickname, such as Green Leaf Drunk and Yellow Millet Dream. They were suitable for all ages, men and women. They were available in both high-end and affordable categories, catering to a clientele that included wealthy merchants and the common people. With the Qianyuan wines appearing in Qianyuan, business boomed again. Soon, restaurants in both the East and West markets were open. Then came the clothing and shoe shops. Their novel and aesthetically pleasing clothing and shoes became fashionable in Qianyuan County, attracting a rush of imitators. Finally, there was the perfume shop, named Dongxi Pavilion. Perfume was a luxury item, available only in the East market, and commanded high prices. Its diverse scents catered to the tastes of most women, making it a favorite among the wives of wealthy merchants. Furthermore, Su Mingyan constantly tasked people with developing new product lines. He understood that innovation was the Su family's core competitiveness. Of course, there were some who, driven by profit, caused trouble during this period, but Su Mingyan found ways to resolve them one by one. If he couldn't, he would contact County Magistrate Yang. County Magistrate Yang, out of respect for Su Chuan, would make things easier for them, as long as they didn't break the law. Spring passed, autumn came. In a flash, 3 years had passed. The Su family's fruit and vegetable business already accounted for 30 to 40% of the West market's business, and the East market also had a fruit and vegetable market. Market stalls were in short supply, and rents were rising frequently. They had also signed contracts with many restaurants and inns, providing daily fresh fruit. Businesses like Zuianju, Qianyuan Pavilion, and Dongxi Pavilion were also raking in the dough. They had branches in both the East and West markets. Now, their monthly revenue was tens of thousands of taels, sometimes exceeding 100,000. Even among the wealthy merchant families in Qianyuan County, they were among the most profitable. And with such a large scale, the population naturally had to keep pace. In the past 2 years, the Su family had hired quite a few people. The county's businesses, including those owned by the Su family, numbered 70 or 80 in total. Dongxi village employed over 100 farmhands, servants, and maids. Over 100 guards were also recruited, most of them young and strong warriors trained in martial arts. They guarded the county's various businesses to prevent trouble, or guarded their homes and patrolled the fields and forests. For convenience, the Su family also purchased a house in the East market of Qianyuan County. Sometimes, when they were visiting the Yang family and couldn't leave the city late at night, they would stay here, Qianyuan Street. The roads here were paved with bluestone, and the Yang mansion was located on this street. A young man nearly 2 meters tall and a young woman perched on the back of a white tiger with scarlet gold eyes swaggered up to the gate of the Yang mansion. The guards at the gate greeted them with a quick bow and a smile, saying, "Ms. Mingshu and Mr. Su, please come in." Meeting the eyes of the white tiger, more than half a man's height, they felt a chill running down their spines. "I told you not to bring it here. You scared me, didn't you?" Su Mingwei laughed uncontrollably, nudging Su Mingshu's head. "Xiaobei said it was too boring staying home, so I brought it out for some fresh air. Don't you agree, Xiaobei?" The white tiger seemed to understand and roared in agreement, sending the Yang mansion guards retreating several steps in fright. "I'm really curious, Zuji, how did you make such a ferocious alien species so obedient?" This is a talent, you can't learn it, big brother." Xiaobei and I are in sync. Hearing the tiger's roar, Yang Jiadalin walked over. "It's you, Xiao Zuji. Are you here with your Xiaobei to take revenge on me?" "Humph, I'm not as petty as you, brother Shichen. This time I'm here with the big brother to deliver some green jade pears to my godfather and godmother to try, and to visit sister Ronghua." Yang Dalin laughed and understood, and joked, "Brother Su, I've been waiting for your family to come and propose marriage." Su Mingwei shook his head speechlessly. "Brother Yang, it's not that I don't want to, but my father wants me to become an innate warrior before considering getting married." "Innate? Uncle Su is so heartless and too strict with you. You're not even 19, and my father became an innate when he was almost 30. HMPH, how could you possibly guess what my father is thinking?" Su Mingshu objected, then smiled and said, "However, I also agree that my eldest brother should marry sister Rongho soon, so she can chat with me more often." "You little girl, your brother married just to have a sister-in-law to chat with you." They both felt at a loss for words. Yang Shichen began to study the white tiger, turning it around and praising it. "You're quite impressive, girl. You can actually tame such an alien," Su Mingshu said proudly. "My father said that Xiaobei isn't fully grown yet. When he does, even a peak-level warrior might not be able to defeat him. If you mess with me again, I'll let Xiaobei whip you." The white tiger responded by waving its thick, black and white striped tail like a whip. A strong lash from it would probably make even a top-tier warrior vomit blood. Yang Shichen looked at Su Mingwei. You are such a fierce girl, I am afraid no one will dare to marry you in the future. What do you care? Su Mingshu grinned and made a face at Yang Shichen. Xiaobei was left in the front yard and was not brought to the backyard. It just lay there quietly to take a nap, and no one dared to provoke it. The backyard of the Yang family. Sister Ronghua, I came to see you. Su Mingshu swaggered into Yang Ronghua's boudoir. Yang Ronghua was doing housework. When she heard the voice, she immediately put down the needlework in her hand and stood up to greet her. Her face was like a new lotus with dew, her eyebrows were like distant mountains with dark black, her eyes were like autumn water, and there was a dot of cinnabar between her lips. A flower ornament was painted on her forehead in the shape of a butterfly, her black hair was tied into a stunning swan bun, a silver hairpin with kingfisher feathers was inserted diagonally, and the moon-shaped earrings on her earlobes swayed lightly with her steps. Her top was a cloud-patterned, blue silk, cross-collared blouse, its hem embroidered with silver thread entwined branches. The cuffs narrowed into a purple-like pattern, evoking waves of blue when she raised her arms. Her bottom was a pleated, emerald green skirt, revealing a crimson waist as she walked. 12 jade rings adorned the hem, creating a jingling sound as she moved. Sister Zuji, how did you find the time to come here today? Did Uncle Su force you to practice martial arts? Martial arts training requires relaxation, too. Su Mingshu noticed Yang Ronghua's constant glances toward the front door, and she smiled, covering her mouth with her hand. Sister Ronghua, what are you staring at? My eldest brother went to see our godmother and was talking to him. I didn't ask him. Yang Ronghua blushed shyly, her flawless face flushing slightly. Su Mingshu chuckled and said, Sister Ronghua, I think you should ask our godfather and godmother to talk to my father and ask him to be less strict with my eldest brother and marry you off sooner rather than later. Sister Zuji, you're teasing me, I'll tease you. The two sisters started laughing and joking, suddenly becoming quite playful and entertaining. Elsewhere, Aunt Yang, these are the green jade pears and seasonal fruits my father brought for you to try. Brother Su, that's so thoughtful. I thank you on behalf of my husband, Madam Yang said gently. Su Mingwei then pulled out an invitation from his bosom and handed it over. In half a month, our Su family mansion will be officially completed. We'll establish our clan, open a family ancestral hall, and worship our ancestors. Uncle Yang and Aunt Yang, please be sure to attend the ceremony, of course. I'll let my husband know when he gets back, then I'll leave you alone, Su Mingwei said respectfully. Mom, Xiao Zuji is at Amei's place. I'll take Mingwei there, Yang Shichen also said with a smile. Madam Yang smiled lightly and nodded. Go ahead, you young people can chat among yourselves. If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means it was downloaded and re-uploaded without effort. We warmly invite you to visit our channel, Fanfic World. There you will find the original version of this story and many other novels of various genres. We look forward to seeing you dive into a world of incredible novels. Chapter 28 Yang Zhao's Distress. Brother Su, please tell me the truth. Have you reached the peak of the acquired realm? Yang Shichen asked solemnly. Su Chuan usually warned Su Mingwei to keep a low profile, but after deep thought, he nodded. At 18, reaching the peak of the acquired realm, truly the stuff of a grandmaster, he was a year older than Su Mingwei, but he had only reached the level of a first-rate martial artist. While the number of acupoints a first-rate martial artist needed to open to reach the peak of the acquired realm was relatively small, the difficulty was considerable. Even the innate realm is a long way off, let alone the grandmaster realm, Su Mingwei lamented. Yang Shichen smiled. In fact, there are shortcuts to becoming an innate warrior. By taking the ki-inducing pill, you can draw ki into your body, comprehend the power of heaven and earth, and speed up your journey to becoming an innate warrior. This is the case for the outstanding children of the major families in the county town. How can you get the ki-inducing pill? It's too rare in the county town. Even in the county town, it is controlled by the major families. It requires the means of a cultivator to refine, and one pill costs 3,000 taels, and the ki-inducing pill cannot completely guarantee that you can successfully comprehend the ki of heaven and earth. It only increases the probability. Generally, more than 10 pills are needed to succeed. The most talented person in the county town in the past 10 years also spent 3 pills. Is there no one who has succeeded in comprehending on their own? Su Mingwei asked curiously. Of course there are, but it's very difficult. Only 1 in 100 Xiantian in the county city can achieve enlightenment on their own. Yang Shichen glanced at Su Mingwei and smiled, But the sooner you break through in martial arts, the further you'll go in the future. After all, after 60, your ki and blood begin to decline, and it's basically impossible to break through again. If our two families become in-laws, with your talent, my father wouldn't be unable to get a few ki-inducing pills from our family to help you break through. The Yang family is optimistic about the Su family and Su Mingwei. But they wouldn't provide such a precious resource as ki-inducing pills without reason. However, if they were to marry their children, that would be another matter. My father has the final say on this matter. Brother Su, you're really... My sister loves you so much and won't marry anyone but you. Brother Shichen, who are you talking about marrying who? Su Mingshu's voice chuckled as a large and small figure approached from the corridor ahead. The older one was graceful and elegant, like a lotus flower emerging from water, while the younger one was playful and adorable. Her crescent-shaped eyes shone with cunning. It was Yang Ronghu and Su Mingshu. Sister, I don't think Brother Su has any intention of marrying you. You should find another good husband. Brother, what are you talking about? Brother Mingwei, you won't betray me. We made a promise long ago. Su Mingwei and Yang Ronghu looked at each other and smiled faintly. For the past 3 years, the Sun Yang families had grown close. With frequent visits, the younger generations of each family were well acquainted with each other. Yang Ronghu and Su Mingwei had also developed feelings for each other. Everyone else saw this and considered them a perfect match. Of course I won't let Sister Ronghu down, Su Mingwei said, as if making a vow. I will break through to the Xianshan realm as soon as possible, fulfill my father's wishes, and then, with 3 letters of engagement and 6 betrothal gifts, I will marry Sister Ronghu in a grand sedan chair. Ha 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 ha! Yang Shichen burst into laughter. Brother Su, you said that yourself. Then my sister and I will be waiting. Xiao Zuji, let's go see your Xiao Bei. Don't bother them talking here. Su Mingshu blinked. Then let's go. It's a good chance for you to see Xiao Bei's strength. Yang Shichen battled Xiao Bei for a while. Sure enough, he was no match for the alien white tiger. After being beaten, Su Mingshu applauded. Of course, Su Mingshu wouldn't actually let Xiao Bei hurt him. Otherwise, his godparents would be in trouble. When they returned home, both the man and the tiger would be severely punished, and the white tiger might even be banned from leaving the house again. Soon, Su Mingwei and his sister returned to Dongxi village. The Su residence now spans over 100 acres, its buildings magnificent, truly embodying the air of a distinguished family. Su Mingwei told Su Chuan about the ki-inducing pill. I'll discuss this with your Uncle Yang and have a Yuan inquire about it. As for marriage, you're both still young, so there's no rush. In a year or two. Su Chuan smiled at Su Mingwei, who nodded. Father, you make sense. Prepare well for the founding of the clan. This is the day my Su family officially becomes a prominent Qingjiang family. A stone knows the importance of things. That night. Qingjiang Street, Yang's residence. Husband, what are you so happy about today? Madame Yang poured Yang Zhao wine, a look of curiosity on her face. We received a letter from the family saying a position has opened up in the county capital. We can go back. Really, it's a letter from my uncle himself, so it can't be false. Madam, let's have a few more drinks tonight. Yes, husband. 3 cups were consumed. Madame Yang produced another invitation. The Su family has sent Mingyan an invitation. They're establishing a clan and opening an ancestral hall in half a month, and they've invited us to attend the ceremony. Upon hearing this, Yang Zhao's expression froze. What's going on? Madame Yang asked, surprised. The Su clan's rise is so rapid. In just 3 years, they're almost established. Yang Zhao sighed. It's rapid, but the Su clan is no longer what it once was. Their roots may not be as deep, given their youth and small size. However, their wealth, strength, and connections are not to be underestimated. Madame Yang nodded. Once all 5 of their sons have established their own families and careers, the clan will immediately flourish and its foundations will be solid. Yang Zhao agreed, though his expression was different from before. Madame Yang also noticed something was wrong and asked, why is it that this year, whenever Su's family is mentioned, your husband's expression changes? He wasn't like this before. Yang Zhao sighed slightly and said, my uncle has sent me a letter asking me to compete for the position of county lieutenant. However, there are many competitors, and the various clans of the Chang family are all eyeing me covetously. If I want to succeed, I must get the help of the Wen family. The Wen family has had several county lieutenants. Although they are not as strong as the Chang family and my Yang family, they are also well-rooted and have a profound foundation. That's why my uncle suggested that we form a marriage alliance with the Wen family. I am the most powerful candidate in the Yang family for the position of county lieutenant. This is a good thing." Madame Yang knew that this matter was related to her husband's future, and her eyes showed joy. Changer is of marriageable age, and it's just right for him to marry a woman of the right age from the Wen family. "Wait, my husband, are you planning to marry Huer to the Wen family?" Yang Zhao bowed his head and said in a deep voice, "Changer and Huer will go together. One will be married and the other will be married at the same time. This will strengthen the bond, and the Wen family will fully support my bid for the position of county lieutenant. By joining forces with the Wen family, our Yang family will have a complete victory in this bid for the position." This, Madame Yang's face suddenly shifted to the same expression as Yang Zhao had earlier. Though it was only verbal, the Yang and Su families had long since agreed to have Su Mingwei marry Yang Ronghua when the time was right. Yang Zhao had always welcomed the Su marriage, and Su Mingwei's virtue and talent made him a perfect match for Yang Ronghua. However, the decision now faced a dilemma between her future and her daughter's happiness. "But Huer, Changer, told me they are deeply in love and have pledged eternal love to marry you." Nonsense. How can a child understand the ways of the world? How can there be an eternal vow? Yang Zhao slammed the table, his voice stern, his expression etched in anger at his daughter's secret marriage, or lamenting that his future required the sacrifice of her life. "My dear husband, is there really no other way?" Madame Yang felt sorry for her beloved daughter. Thinking of how heartbroken she must be upon hearing the tragic news, she couldn't help but burst into tears. "I cherish Huer, too," Yang Zhao sighed helplessly, "but even if I were willing to give up my future, what could I say to my uncle and father? This matter concerns not just me, but the prosperity of the entire Yang family. I was raised and taught by the Yang family. How could I betray them? Why not just tell them that Changer isn't engaged yet, but Huer is already betrothed? The betrothal gifts have been paid, and we only need to choose an auspicious day for the wedding." My husband has always been optimistic about the Su family, saying it will one day become the foremost family in Qingjiang. If Huer were to marry the Wen family, the relationship between our two families might be rifted, and all our years of hard work would be wasted. "My husband, please reconsider." Upon hearing this, Yang Zhao pondered for a long time before saying, "Madam, you are absolutely right. The Su family has extraordinary potential, and one day it may rival our Yang family. I will return to the county capital tomorrow and discuss with my uncle whether we can have other women of marriageable age in the family marry the Wen family, or adopt a daughter to marry in my place." Madame Yang smiled brightly upon hearing this. Chapter 29, 9th Rank of Aristocratic Family. The next day, Yang Zhao rode a fast horse to Yuhu County. Upon arriving at the Yang family's residence, he informed his great-uncle, Yang Wenfen, of the matter. "Are you determined to marry your daughter to a small clan in Qingjiang County, uncle?" "The two families have already signed the engagement letter and completed the ceremony. We're just waiting for an auspicious day for the marriage. How can I go back on my word? I can't let the Yang family be branded as unkind and unjust." Ultimately, Yang Zhao followed his wife's advice and allowed Yang Ronghua to happily marry the man of her dreams. This was because large families traditionally held women in low regard, often using them as tools for marriage alliances. But Yang Shicheng's marriage was inevitable. He considered this, and once matters were finalized, he would return to Qingjian County and quickly explain his lie. If successful, he could remain in Qingjian County for at most another half a year. Yang Wenfeng pondered for a moment, his eyes shimmering. "Since that's the case, we can only do as you say. Originally, it was perfect for your family's Shichen to marry the Wen family's daughter, and Ronghua to marry their son. Now, we have to choose another candidate. Your third uncle's granddaughter, Yang Rongchen, is 18 years old and a perfect match. I'm sure he'll be pleased with a strong marriage with the Wen family." After saying this, Yang Wenfeng glanced at Yang Zhao and said calmly, "Come with me to the Wen family in a while and tell them about this in person." "Thank you, uncle." That day, Yang Zhao returned to Qingjiang County. Upon returning home, he asked Yang Shichen to go to the Su family and invite Su Chuan to the county government office. The county magistrate was very busy, and after taking a few days off, a lot of official business had piled up for him to deal with. Qingjian County, county government office. "Brother Yang, what's the urgent matter that brought you to me?" "It's about my daughter and your son's marriage." Su Chuan was slightly startled. He had just discussed this with Yang Zhao not long ago, and they both said that the two children were still young and could postpone the marriage for a year or two. "What happened?" Something happened in the county capital. I'm vying for the position of county lieutenant, but the Yang family wants me to marry the Wen family. Changer will marry the Wen family's daughter, and Rong Hua was originally going to marry the Wen family's son, but Hua and your eldest son have sworn to each other. I was afraid that forcing them to separate would make them hate us forever, so I lied and said Hua had already been engaged to your Su family, and that they were just waiting for an auspicious day to get married. That's how I convinced my uncle to agree to the change, but this lie must be kept, otherwise it will cause unnecessary trouble for both our families. Don't worry, Brother Yang, I'll have my wife handle this matter as soon as possible. We will keep a unified story and not leak a single word to save you any risks. Yes, Yang Zhao nodded. Immediately, Chuan clasped his fists and congratulated. I want to congratulate Brother Yang on your promotion in advance. It's just that Brother Yang will return to the county city one day, and the two places will be separated. It will be difficult to drink with you again. Thank you for your good words, Brother Su, Yang Zhao replied with a laugh. Your Su family is by no means a fish in the pond. You will definitely expand your family to the county city in the future, Brother Su. The major county cities are the best places for aristocratic families to develop. Although Qianyuan County can be regarded as a prosperous county in Yuhu County, it is rare to see a cultivator on weekdays. However, in the county city, the children of the major families all have practitioners of martial arts and immortality, and the resources to assist martial arts and immortality are even more diverse. Although my Yang family is also a big family in Yuhu County, the top families with real profound heritage are all determined to cultivate immortality, and there are even big families with foundation-building cultivators in charge. As for martial arts, even if you become a master, it is only comparable to the late stage of key training. Chuan was very interested when he heard the secrets of the aristocratic families in the county city for the first time. By the way, Brother Yang, can you tell me how your county city classifies those aristocratic families? Yang Zhao smiled in surprise when he heard this, and said slowly, the Great Wei dynasty secretly divides aristocratic families into 9 grades, just like official positions, with the 9th grade being the lowest and the 1st grade being the highest. A 9th grade aristocratic family must have at least 1 innate warrior or a cultivator at the 3rd level of key training. An 8th grade aristocratic family needs a warrior in the late innate realm or a cultivator in the middle stage of key training. A 2nd grade aristocratic family must have at least 3 people in the foundation building stage. A 1st grade aristocratic family must have 5 people in the foundation building stage, including a great cultivator in the late foundation building stage. Chuan thought for a moment and said with a wry smile, then my Su family is not even qualified to be a 9th grade aristocratic family today. These are the divisions of the aristocratic families in the county city. The aristocratic families in the county city are basically not included. After all, more than 90% of them do not have innate warriors, so Brother Su, there is no need to be so self-deprecating. I, Yang, am still very optimistic about your Su family. Chuan nodded and asked again, then what grade is your Yang family now? Curious? This isn't a secret in the county town, so I'm fine with sharing it. Yang Zhao smiled calmly. My Yang family is rank 6th rank. 6th rank means at least 3 Grandmaster warriors, with 1 in the late Grandmaster's realm. The exact number of these experts is a top secret within each family. Naturally, Yang Zhao wouldn't be so foolish as to reveal it. The road ahead is long and arduous, Chuan sighed. Brother Su, the path to becoming an aristocratic family isn't built overnight. It took our Yang family over 400 years to reach this point, with each generation diligently striving to achieve advancement to the 3rd rank. Yang Zhao shook his head and chuckled. Upon returning, Chuan immediately instructed Bai Jing to prepare the 3 letters and 6 engagements, and then asked her to accompany him and Su Mingwei to the Yang mansion in 2 days. Su Mingwei was delighted, but also surprised. So, he inquired. Chuan didn't hold back, and told him all about the Yang family. Thank you, father. You should also thank Uncle Yang, your future father-in-law. The Yang family could have sent Dongxi to an arranged marriage, but they took a risk by not doing so. Chuan smiled and patted his shoulder. You must remember this favor and repay it in the future. Got it, father. 2 days later. At the Yang mansion. Brother Yang, my family has prepared all the 3 letters and 6 engagement documents. Please check them. Chuan cupped his fists and looked at Yang Zhao. Yang Zhao smiled. You will do the job, and I will trust you. Let's chat over tea. Su Chuan and his wife chatted and laughed with Yang Zhao and his wife about the wedding of Su Mingwei and Yang Ronghui. After some discussion, the date was finally set for February 2nd of the following year. It was now October. That meant 4 months left. Plenty of time for both families to complete all the necessary arrangements for the marriage. Brother Mingwei, the marriage is finally settled. Congratulations, Yang Shichen said in congratulations. Brother Shichen, congratulations to you too. My father has told me about your family. Su Mingwei looked at Yang Shichen quietly, and saw only bitterness and envy in his eyes. What is there for me to congratulate? It's just a family marriage. He patted Su Mingwei on the shoulder and said, treat my sister well. If I know that she is bullied, don't blame me, the future brother-in-law, for coming back from the county town and beating you up. Of course, Su Mingwei made his promise solemnly. Su Chuan decided to announce the marriage between the two families on the day of the establishment of the clan. Yang Zhao did not refute. The Su family is now a hot new family in Qianyuan County. The establishment of the clan is a major event, and countless wealthy families in Qianyuan will be present. Announcing it in public is a done deal. Even if the uncle and the Wen family investigate, they can't find any loopholes. Time flies, and suddenly it is the day of the Su family's establishment. The Su family has finally reached a new level, and the godfathers must be able to guess the next step. Chapter 30, Establishing a Clan and Opening a Temple. Qianyuan County, Dongxi Village. Countless carriages and horses streamed into this ordinary village. Over 20 guards in standard black and red uniforms were directing traffic to prevent congestion. The head of the Wang family in Qingping County has arrived with his wife and son. The head of the He family in Qingping County has arrived with his son and daughter. The eldest son of the Cao family in Qingping County has arrived. The head of the Yan family has arrived with his wife and children. The eldest son of the Shen family has arrived. Mr. Wu, the magistrate of Qingping County, has arrived with his wife. Mr. Yang, the county magistrate of Qingping County, has arrived with his wife and children. Mr. Feng, the county lieutenant of Qingping County, has arrived. Those who called out the name of Qingping County were either members of prominent families or officials. The rest were wealthy merchants or highly respected figures in the county. The families of Chen Ergao and Chen Daming were also invited. Seeing the wealthy merchants and prominent families coming and going, Chen Daming was filled with emotion, muttering, "Ergao, our father is truly discerning. If he hadn't taken care of Su Chuan since he was young, my Chen family wouldn't even be here today." Brother, that's you. Brother Chuan and I are such close friends. It's natural they didn't invite you, but they definitely wouldn't leave me out, Chen Ergao smugly said. Su Yan, watching them, a simmering jealousy. We're all members of the Su family, from the same clan. How is it that the Su Chuan lineage is so prominent, while ours is declining? The woman at Chen Daming's side suddenly tugged at his sleeve and whispered, "Husband, do you think the Su family will resent us for asking them for tips on cultivating the green jade pear all those years ago?" She was Chen Daming's wife, Mrs. Liu. "It shouldn't be a big deal, otherwise they wouldn't have invited us. Besides, we haven't benefited from it at all. We've been planting jade pears for years, but they haven't borne any fruit. It's almost ruined our family business." After that, the two men remained silent. As they walked, a guard suddenly stopped them. "Everyone, this road has been blocked by the Su family today. Only those with invitations can pass." Chen Ergao cheerfully stepped forward, pulled out an invitation from his pocket, and then turned to Chen Daming and said, "Brother, take out yours too. They need to review it." The Su guard glanced at it, nodded, and handed it back, making a gesture of invitation. "The invitation is correct. Go straight this way. Where the crowds converge is where our family is. I know this road well." As they approached the Su family mansion, the crowd gradually surged, finally arriving at the gate. They saw a vast, well-maintained area paved with bluestone slabs. "Nephew," Chen Ergao suddenly spotted Su Mingyin chatting with some wealthy merchants and immediately waved and called out. This call drew a number of glances. "It looks like he's calling second young master Su. Could he be from the Su family as well?" Some wondered, wondering if they should go over and greet him. Su Mingyin, now a near second-rate warrior, possessed sharp hearing and vision, so naturally he heard the familiar voice. He turned around, smiled, and walked over. "Uncle Ergao, Uncle Daming, Danyu, Fang, you're here. Where's my brother Chuan?" Su Mingyin said with a wry smile. "Uncle Ergao, there are too many of you here today. And this is an important day for the founding of our Su family. The occasion is solemn and dignified. Please pay attention and don't be so frivolous or casual. I understand. Second young Master Su. May I ask where the head of the Su family is? My father is in the inner room, conversing with several heads of aristocratic families, as well as Magistrate Wu, County Magistrate Yang, and County Lieutenant Fang. The founding ceremony begins at noon. If you know anyone, you can chat with them first, or you can go to the house to see Grandpa Chen. He will preside over this ceremony. My father, Chen Daming and Chen Ergao both exclaimed in surprise, looking at each other in disbelief. Then let's go see my father first, they both said. After all, there weren't many people they knew present. Noon. Outside the Su family gate. The incense table for offering sacrifices to heaven and earth was neatly arranged. On it were 3 kinds of animals, cattle, pigs, and sheep, a long burning candle, and some other pastries. 7 cushions were placed behind them, arranged in 2 rows, 2 in the front and 5 in the back. Su Chuan's family, along with the county magistrate, the county magistrate, the county lieutenant, and some heads of prominent families, emerged from the main gate. Uncle Chen stood beside the table. With gray hair and a weathered face, he was already 60 years old. He was considered a very old man for the people of Dongxi village. As the closest elder of the Su family, Su Chuan had invited him to preside over the ceremony. Descendants of the Su family, please step forward, light the incense. 7 servants stepped forward and lit the long incense sticks held by Su Chuan and his companions, then withdrew. Uncle Chen glanced at it, his expression solemn and dignified. He read from the silk cloth in his hand, heaven and earth are offering sacrifices. In the year of UC, the zodiac is Rui Bin. Heaven and earth are pure and peaceful, the 2 instruments are descending, clouds are moving and rain is pouring down, and all things are flowing and taking shape. The gods are magnanimous and glorious, nurturing our people, and bestowing blessings upon us, benefiting us without limit. I respectfully follow the old rules, and I beg you to accept my offerings. After finishing, he tossed the silk cloth into a bronze cauldron and burned it. Kneel, 1 bow. 2 bows. 3 bows kneel again. After 3 kneelings and 9 bows, Su Chuan led the others in lighting incense. Then they arrived at the Su clan ancestral hall. Before opening the ancestral hall, a prayer was also recited to comfort the ancestors and honor their legacy. The Su family has established a clan temple to honor their ancestors and establish a lineage. We've chosen an auspicious site on the Qingjiang River, nestled against green mountains and facing the flowing water. The dragon vein stretches out, and the atmosphere is magnificent. The temple has 3 entrances, with a ceremonial gate in the front, a central hall for offering sacrifices, and tablets of ancestral tablets in the back. The wings on both sides house genealogies. This temple is not only a place for the gods to dwell, but also a foundation for strengthening family ties and educating future generations. Those who enter this gate in the future should remember the hardships of starting a business and the difficulty of maintaining success. They should be frugal and keep their wealth to bring glory to the family. After reciting the prayer and burning the silk cloth, Uncle Chen shouted, "Open the ancestral temple and welcome the ancestral tablets." Servant after servant, solemn-faced, carried the tablets and entered the Su clan temple, placing them there. Su Chuan was the 3rd generation, counting from his grandfather's generation, while Su Mingwei and his family were the 4th. However, to others, Su Chuan was the one who truly opened the Su family's business. For generations before him, the Su family had been ordinary commoners, living from hand to mouth. Su Chuan's father was even a farmhand. I've heard the Su family has 5 sons, all exceptionally gifted, but the head of the Su family is lesser known. I've also heard the Su family's rise to prominence has only been a dozen years, and when the head was young, he was a farmhand for the Su family in Dongxi village. 2 generations of the Su family have produced so many talented people. No wonder they're so prosperous. Everyone looked at the Su family members kneeling before the Su ancestral tablet with envy. Each of the 5 sons of the Su family was exceptional. Their fame spread not only throughout Qingjiang County, but also to several surrounding counties. The eldest son, Su Mingwei, was undoubtedly considered a first-rate martial artist 3 years ago. Before he was even 20, he had already reached the peak of his acquired talent, a recognized master. The second son, Su Mingyin, made friends and gathered wealth from all corners of the world. He was responsible for a full quarter of the Su family's prosperity. He is a business genius. In just a few years, He increased the Su family's wealth by dozens or even hundreds of times. The third son, Su Mingxuan, studied martial arts at the Qianyuan Martial Arts School and also reached the level of a third-rate martial artist. He's known as a talented martial artist in Qianyuan County. The fourth daughter, Su Mingxu, is gifted and is rumored to be able to communicate with animals and control a white tiger. She is also famous and is the object of many noble families' desire to marry her. The fifth son, Su Mingxin, is not very impressive in the eyes of outsiders, but many people speculate that he is the most talented person in the Su family. Godfathers, please vote, invest, and read on. Chapter 31 Uncle Chen's Request. Thank you, all the family heads and friends, for coming to attend the grand ceremony of the Su family's founding and opening of the ancestral temple. After concluding the ceremony and worshipping the ancestors, Su Chuan said to the crowd with a smile, "My Su family has prepared a light feast. Please enjoy a few drinks, haha, Master Su, you're so polite." As soon as he finished speaking, someone around him said, "Everyone knows that the wines from your Su family's Qianyuan Fang are famous throughout Qingjiang. Qianyuan Fang brews yellow wine, rice wine, white wine, fruit wine, and even fruit drinks, suitable for men, women, and children. It enjoys a high reputation and is highly praised. Haha, everyone, drink as much as you want. We must not leave until we are drunk today. Family heads, please come this way." Guards began to guide the crowd towards the banquet venue. "Father, I'm going to see Xiao Bei," Su Mingxu said. "I'm going too," Su Mingxin said. Su Chuan waved his hand. "Go ahead and keep an eye on them. If anything happens today, don't blame me for starving them for 10 days or half a month. I'll have the servants bring you some food." "Thank you, Father. As for the three of you, go and keep them company. You also have to take care of the heads of the noble families, the wealthy merchants, and the folks of Dongxi village." "Yes, Father." Su Chuan sat at the main table, accompanying Yang Zhao and the others, as well as several of the most powerful heads of the noble families. At the nearby table sat Bai Jing and the other women. "My lords, and all the patriarchs, I offer you a toast. Thank you for your presence today. You have brought honor to our humble Su family." County Magistrate Wu also raised his glass, smiling. "Master Su, you are so polite. The addition of a distinguished family to Qingjian County is a major event. As officials, we naturally have to be present to witness this. Otherwise, we would be failing the title officials. Your words, County Magistrate Wu, are quite reasonable. We, the aristocratic families, should also be present." Cheers, everyone gulped down their wine. "Master Su, your Su family has amassed such a formidable fortune in just a dozen years. Your future is limitless. We may even need your support in the future." "Master Wang, you are so polite. How can our Su family compare to the Wang family? Even if we flatter them, we can't catch up." "Ha ha ha, Master Su is so modest." The patriarch Wang was flattered, his face flushed. "Today, I, Su Chuan, actually have a piece of good news to share with you all." Su Chuan glanced at Yang Zhao and said calmly, "On the second day of the second month of next year, my eldest son, Su Mingwei, will marry the daughter of the Yang County Magistrate, County Magistrate Wu, County Lieutenant Fang." And a number of the heads of the aristocratic families looked at Su Chuan in surprise, then at Yang Zhao. Yang Zhao smiled faintly and waved his hand, saying, "Master Su, this is not a big deal. You don't need to make such a big deal. The 3 letters and 6 betrothal gifts have already been completed. Are you afraid that I won't marry my daughter to your son?" Yang Zhao's words were the final word. County Magistrate Wu pointed at Yang Zhao, shook his head and laughed. "Brother Yang, this is not very kind of you. You wanted to choose a son-in-law for your daughter, but why didn't you tell me? I let the son of Master Su get the advantage for nothing. It's my fault. I will punish myself with 3 cups. Yang Zhao drank 3 cups in a row, and then said, "There's nothing I can do. My daughter likes her. I only have this one daughter. How can I not listen to her?" "Well, that's right. Su Mingwei is a recognized master in our Qingjiang County. Who can compare with him?" The head of the He family turned to look at Su Chuan, smiled and said, "Master Su, nephew Mingwei should have reached the peak of his acquired ability, right?" Many people were curious about this question and couldn't help but listen attentively. Su Chuan smiled faintly. "I don't have the time to supervise him. I haven't tested his martial arts for a long time. I don't know what level he's at. Maybe he's a little off. Even if he's a little off, there must be only a few acupoints left. When all the acupoints in the body are open, the internal energy will flow continuously, and he will reach the peak of the acquired realm. Haha, then I'll take good care of Master Zhou. I hope he can reach the peak of the acquired realm before the end of the year. Not only was Sichuan's table lively in conversation, but Bai Jing's group was also chatting animatedly. However, they were discussing whether each family had sons or daughters suitable for marriage. Because of the reputation of the Su family's 5 sons, the other ladies were most concerned about their marriages. Bai Jing was not confused. She simply explained that Su Mingwei had already been married to the daughter of County Magistrate Yang and would be marrying her in a few months. The others, citing their young age, said they should wait a few years. After a satisfying meal, the county magistrate's family and the wealthy merchants left one by one. Bai Jing, accompanied by Zhou Ming, counted the gifts one by one. Madam, the gifts have been counted. A rough estimate puts them at over 80,000 taels. Bai Jing nodded calmly. She knew her family's wealth well, and she wasn't going to fuss over such a small sum. Manager Zhou, put them all in the warehouse. Okay, madam. Zhou Ming, Li'er, and Zhao Dalin, the old men who had accompanied her from humble beginnings, now held high positions in the Su family. They were either managers or guard commanders. The Su family's fortunes were thriving, and their families had also risen to prominence. With the exception of Li'er, the others were no worse off than they were before their escape. In the past 3 years, some had even had children. The Su family's main hall. Chen Ergao, Chen Daming, and their families were all sitting in the hall, chatting with Su Chuan. I knew Brother Chuan was the best. In such a short time, he's brought the Su family to the rank of aristocratic families. The Su family hasn't done that in decades, Chen Ergao praised with a smile. He took a sip of tea, his eyes lighting up. This tea is good, really? Then take some back when you leave. No, otherwise I'll feel like I'm just asking for money. Uncle Chen glanced at him and said unhappily, you know the two. Okay, we've had tea and chatted. Let's go back to where we came from. If it's any later, the city gates will close and we won't be able to return. Chen Daming felt like he was sitting on pins and needles and immediately stood up to take his leave. Although his wife had asked him to make friends, the Sichuan family were shrewd people. How could they not see through their intentions? Their relationship wasn't great before. And now even if they tried to stick around, they wouldn't be able to. They had hoped Chen Ergao would speak up. But he wasn't foolish. Now that their father had sent them away, they had even less face to say. Brother Chuan, we'll be leaving first. We'll come and talk to you again in a few days. Su Chuan sent Chen Ergao and the others to the door, watched them go away in the carriage, then turned to look at Uncle Chen beside him. Uncle Chen, why are you doing this? My Su family now has more guest rooms? Yes, Sanchu, your family is no longer what it used to be, but it is important for people to know themselves. Su Chuan bowed. Thank you, Uncle Chen, for being the main priest today. It's my honor to witness the rise of your family. If your parents are still alive, they will definitely be proud of you. Su Chuan looked at the green mountains in the distance, with the golden clouds dyeing the edges, and said lightly, the Great Wei family is of the 9th rank, and my Su family is not even considered a real family now. Everything has just begun. Uncle Chen's turbid eyes suddenly lit up, and he looked at Su Chuan. You have a broad mind and a wealth of knowledge. You are great. It's a pity that I, Uncle Chen, will not be able to see that day. Cough cough cough. Uncle Chen couldn't help coughing as he spoke. Last winter, Uncle Chen's wife passed away, and his health began to deteriorate. Su Chuan supported him and said, I'll take you back. Okay. Uncle Chen glanced at him, and the two walked towards his home. Sanchu, I want to ask you for a favor. You say, Uncle Chen, take the Chen family as a vassal. Su Chuan was silent, and took a few steps before saying, when your Su family grows stronger, you will definitely need some vassal families to manage some family businesses. I would like to ask you to give my 2 sons a chance for the sake of my old face. After thinking for a moment, Su Chuan said calmly, okay, Uncle Chen, you can persuade them yourself. If they are willing, I will accept them and treat them the same as the Zhao, Jin, Sun, Li, and Zhou families. My Su family will never treat loyal people unfairly, but we will not be soft-hearted to those who are cunning and treacherous. I hope you have explained it thoroughly. Uncle Chen nodded slightly. Godfathers, please vote, invest, and read on. Chapter 32. The Su family welcomes the bride. A few days later. Dongxi village, the Chen family's old house. What? Dad, you want Ergao and I to become vassals of the Su family? Chen Daming looked horrified, while Chen Ergao seemed to be pondering. This matter concerns everyone, and you all need to think deeply about it. Don Yu, Fang Fang, the same goes for you. If you don't want to obey, I will never force you. I'm old, and there's not much I can do for you. This time I risked my old face to get the three of you to agree. As long as you are willing, you can be like the Zhao, Jin, Sun, Li, and Zhou families. Uncle Chen hunched over, still holding the old pipe in his hand, and said earnestly, don't look at them as they are not as good as you now, but if one person succeeds, the whole family will prosper. The higher the Su family reaches in the future, it also means the level you can reach. The three of you told me that the aristocratic families in the Wei dynasty are divided into 9 grades, and his Su family has not yet entered the ranks of the so-called aristocratic families. He said that the Su family has just started, his mind is as vast as the sea, and his bearing is as high as the mountain. He is planning to lay the foundation for hundreds of generations. Chen Daming showed indignation on his face, and said in a voice, although his sons and heirs are all talented, Su Chuan will only live for a few more years. Even if he has a far-sighted vision, everything will be in vain after his death. How can we guarantee that the Su family will prosper from generation to generation and that there will be no heirs who will ruin the family? His Su family came at the right time, but my Chen family will naturally produce people who will bring honor to the family as it prospers from generation to generation. You have a long-term vision. Uncle Chen glanced at him, then looked at his several descendants. Mrs. Lu also said, Father, my husband is right. My Lu family was also started from scratch by my grandfather. In just a dozen years, it became a wealthy and famous businessman in Qianyuan County, but by my generation, it has begun to go downhill. The world is unpredictable, and no one can predict what will happen in the future. I know what you mean. Ergao, what is your family's decision? Uncle Chen looked over. Chen Ergao and Su Yan were silent. Grandfather, I agree. Chen Daniu is the first to stand up. I don't mean to belittle my own family, but Uncle Chuan is indeed the wisest person I have ever met. Chen Daniu seemed to remember something, and said with a bitter face, in the past, I always felt that I was no worse than a Yuan, and no worse than Brother Shitao, but after these years, I have experienced the hardships of life, and I understand that people's talents do vary. This is innate. However, for the development of a family, it is more important to have the guidance of people with a long-term vision. Make the best use of things and talents. Everyone in the family has their own duties. The Su family is like this. Uncle Chuan is the stabilizer, guiding the Su family's pace of progress and training everyone to give full play to their strengths. Brother Shitao is the eldest son and the heir to the family. What he needs is stability and deterrence. Awen is smart and versatile. He is a business genius. He controls all the industries of the Su family, and even Uncle Chuan rarely interferes. Tantao was sent to a martial arts school since he was a child and devoted himself to martial arts. Even Aunt Bai Jing is only in charge of the inner house and never asks about other things. As he spoke of Bai Jing, he glanced at his mother, intentionally or not. He made an internal comparison. Uncle Chen, a smile playing on his face, nodded, You're truly my good grandson. With such foresight, even if you don't become a vassal of the Su family, you'll still be able to make the Chen family a wealthy and powerful merchant family within your lifetime. Ergao, what about you? Chen Ergao pondered for a moment, then raised his head. Well, I'm not cut out to be a decision maker. Since I have the opportunity to return to my roots, I'll continue to follow Brother Chuan. In that case, Daming, you two should go back and live your lives. Ultimately, Chen Daming didn't want to follow Uncle Chen's path. Perhaps it had been destined from the start. Uncle Chen told Chen Ergao and Chen Daniu about Su Chuan's warning. The Chen family's assets would be merged into the Su family, and the Su family would manage them centrally. However, Su Yan firmly disagreed. Chen Ergao's persuasion proved fruitless, and he finally gritted his teeth and decided to divorce Su Yan. Knowing her greedy nature, he left her 70% of the family fortune. He, Chen Daniu, and Chen Fangfang all voluntarily joined the Su family as vassals. Uncle Chen informed Su Chuan of the decision made by Chen Daming and Chen Ergao's families. Su Chuan was astonished and looked up to Chen Ergao. Ergao, a man of honor never has trouble finding a wife. I'll find you a better one in a few years. Su Mingyun, who was also present, patted Chen Daniu on the shoulder. Seeing his gloomy face, he soothed him. Daniu, don't be stingy with your family's small fortune. Follow me from now on. Su Mingyun glanced at Su Chuan, who smiled and nodded. Don't treat Daniu unfairly. Thank you, second young master. Thank you, master of the family, Chen Daniu said with a bow. Seeing you do this, let's keep our public and private lives separate. When we're alone, you can still call me Qianyuan. Chen Daniu and Chen Fangfang smiled, their worries dissipating, like the sky clearing after a rainstorm. Uncle Chen finally let go of a worry. 2 months later, he passed away, not being able to complete the New Year's sacrifice. The Su family held a grand funeral for him, in the blink of an eye. On the second day of the second month, the dragon raises its head. The mountain stream gurgles, and white shepherd's purse flowers bloom on the bank. Su Mingwei's wedding is another grand event for the Su family. Many prominent families in the county have come, and the Yang family also has close family elders from the county town. The Yang family has been around for more than 400 years and is very large, so it is impossible for everyone to come. In other words, it is only the close elders of Yang Zhao's branch. However, if Yang Shicheng had married into the Wen family in the county town, it would have been very different and would have been much more lively than this. At this time, at the gate of the Su family, Su Mingwei was wearing a bright red round-necked robe with a gold-woven cloud pattern, and a black gilded jade belt around his waist. The hem of the robe was embroidered with a pattern of 5 bats holding longevity, which appeared and disappeared with his steps. He wore a black gauze bun with a wide-legged fu cape and a gilded palace flower on each side, which made his sharp eyebrows and bright eyes even more distinct. His nose was as high as a peak, and his lips were slightly pursed with nervousness. He wore green satin and pink-bottomed court boots, and a large red silk flower was tied diagonally on his chest. His whole body was as bright as quenched cinnabar. Suddenly, Su Mingwei mounted his black horse and was about to set off with a wedding procession. Su Mingshu and Bai Hu ran out. Brother, wait a minute, Zuji, what's the matter? Su Mingwei turned around and asked with a smile. I heard from father that the Yang family has come from the county town, and they seem quite arrogant. You should take Xiao Bai and give them a little flack. Su Mingwei glanced at Su Mingshu. That's unnecessary. Su Chuan knew that this marriage had displeased many in the Yang family. After some thought, he said, listen to Zuji. Although my Su family can't compare to the Yang family, we can't be underestimated. Okay, father, Xiao Bai, lie down. Let my eldest brother ride you today. I'll come back and bring you something delicious to reward you. Su Mingshu leaned close to the white tiger and whispered softly. Her words seemed to have a special power. The white tiger nodded as if understanding, and even made 2 whoops as if bargaining. Greedy Xiao Bai, as you say. The other guards and servants were no longer surprised by Su Mingshu's exchanges with the white tiger. Big brother, you go up. I'll follow to prevent Xiao Bai from losing his temper. Awen, Tan Tao, Yunyu, you go too. Remember not to make too much noise. Don't worry, Dad, I promise to pick up my sister-in-law on time. Su Mingwei laughed. The 5 sons of the Su family set out together. Just like that, the sound of Suona rang out, followed by the beating of gongs and drums. Dad, Mom, the child is gone. Bai Jing's eyes were filled with tears, and a happy smile was on her face. Su Chuan held her hand, caressed it, and said to Su Mingwei, go, watching a child being born, and then watching them get married and have children. For parents, this is probably the greatest happiness. The wedding procession set off. When they arrived in Qianyuan County, there were many onlookers and followers. They were all here to see Bai Hu. Today is the Su family's wedding, right? Someone on the street suddenly said. How did you know? When that exotic white tiger appeared, everyone in Qianyuan County knew it belonged to the Su family. Oh, the Su family actually has such beast-taming skills. That's not clear. Qianyuan Street. In front of the Yang Mansion's gate. Cousin, don't worry about it later. I want to let the Su family know that the women of my Yang family are not easy to marry. If you don't have the ability, go back to where you came from. Yang Shicheng's mouth twitched slightly, but he didn't stop. Since ancient times, marriage has always been difficult for the woman. All he could do was act according to his circumstances. Here I come, a handsome teenager in his teens, dressed in black and gold satin, shouted loudly. Chapter 33, A Show of Strength, a Roadblock. In the blink of an eye, the Su family's wedding procession had entered Qianyuan Street. The Yang family's mansion was faintly visible. Su Mingshu's eyebrows curved like crescent moons, and the corners of her mouth curled slightly, revealing 2 dimples. Xiao Bai, roar. Let the Yang family know we're here, the white tiger suddenly roared. its sound waves so strong that even the Suona's clamor was temporarily suppressed. Fortunately, only Su Mingyan and his men were riding horses, and their warrior strength was enough to hold the horses back and prevent them from rebellion. Zuji, at least you should have given them advance notice, Su Mingyan said with a wry smile. Yet, we almost got embarrassed ourselves. Su Mingxun also felt helpless. I forgot. Su Mingshu stuck out her tongue. Keep going, Su Mingwei shouted. Not far away, everyone except Yang Shichen was startled by the unusual tiger roar. The power contained in this roar was beyond that of an ordinary tiger. What's going on? Why are there tiger roars? When did tigers get into the city? Everyone looked at each other in bewilderment. Yang Shichen laughed inwardly. You've become so arrogant. You deserve to suffer a little. Then, they saw the wedding procession. Among them was a white tiger with red gold eyes, more than half a man's height, slowly approaching. They all looked over, their eyes full of surprise. The man who had called Yang Shichen cousin raised his lips slightly and looked at Yang Shichen, saying, Does the Su family have anyone who can tame animals? Cousin Shihu, I don't know about that, Yang Shichen replied casually. Arriving at the gate, Su Mingwei dismounted the white tiger, clasped his fists, and stepped forward, saying, The Su family, Su Mingwei, are here to welcome the bride. Su Mingyan and the others also dismounted and stood behind him. Yang Shihu and the others sized Su Mingwei up. He's a handsome man, worthy of cousin Ronghua, but looks alone aren't enough. Yes, said a 17 or 18-year-old boy in a brocade robe. In this world, without force, no one can be protected. If you want to take my cousin, you have to get past me first. My name is Qianyuan. Who are you? Su Mingyan was closer in age, but he wasn't a martial artist. Tantao's strength was similar to Su Mingyan's, but he was younger. Given another 2 or 3 years, he would definitely become a formidable second-rate warrior, perhaps even approaching first-rate status. Fourth sister, you go ahead, Su Mingxun whispered. I'll go, I feel like he's formidable. No one but my eldest brother can handle him. But I can't just leave it to my eldest brother to handle anyone who comes out. So what are we doing here? That makes sense. Su Mingshu took a few steps forward, looking at Qi Wenzi fearlessly. I'll take on this fight. Ha, is the Su family completely deserted? You're leaving it to a little girl like you. Qi Wenzi laughed heartily and waved his hand, saying, Go play house over there. Su Mingshu's eyes flashed with anger as she shouted, Xiao Bei, whip him. White Tiger, who had been quietly waiting in the back, heard the sound and leaped up in front of Su Mingshu. His steely black and white whip, carrying a sharp force, lashed out directly at his abdomen. Qi Wenzi, startled, stepped back, but it was too late. A slight grazed his body, sending him flying backward, landing flat on his face. What the hell? Roar. White Tiger's eyes flashed with ferocity, roaring recklessly at the crowd in front of the Yang residence. Several people retreated, threatened by the tiger's roar. Only Yang Shihu remained motionless. Relying on a tiger is nothing. If we were to use swords, we'd surely slaughter this beast. Su Mingshu remained unfazed. Commanding a ferocious beast is my skill. If you don't agree, come out and challenge me. Xiao Bei, no. It's a good day, and seeing blood is unlucky. Yang Shichen hurriedly intervened. Cousin, it seems the Su family isn't all bad. Yang Shihu suddenly spoke up, looking at Su Mingwei. My uncle says you're quite capable, a master. Let's have a duel. If you win, I won't stop you. How about that, please? Su Mingwei said without further ado. The two immediately engaged. Bang, bang, bang. For several consecutive blows, neither side was victorious. Su Mingshu asked curiously, Brother Shichen, this guy is so amazing. He can actually fight my eldest brother. Yang Shichen patted her head. Don't underestimate everyone. My cousin is 21 years old this year. He's also at the peak of the acquired realm. With a few more months of cultivation, he'll be able to take the key-inducing pill and reach the level of an innate realm warrior. He's a rare genius in my generation. That's not as good as my eldest brother. He's only 19, Su Mingshu snorted. Perhaps, but the Yang family's heritage is unmatched by the Su families. It's hard to say what their future holds. Yang Shichen then added, my brother-in-law is indeed a prodigy in Yuhu County, but the truly powerful ones are those who achieve innate realm warrior status before the age of 20. HMPH, my eldest brother won't lose, Su Mingshu said firmly. Brother Su, you're truly remarkable. It's not easy for a mere county to produce someone like you. But if you can't defeat me, don't even think I'll let you into the Yang mansion." Su Mingwei, with an imposing aura like a mountain and a piercing gaze, stared silently at Yang Shihu. "Brother Yang, you're deliberately giving me a hard time. Then I won't hold back either, just go ahead and strike." Yang Shihu brimmed with confidence. He wouldn't claim to be invincible in the county seat, but in a small town, he was confident he could crush anyone. After all, his Yang family's martial arts and techniques were unmatched by any other small family in the county. "Brother Yang, your martial arts are indeed exquisite, but I, Su, can also defeat even the most skilled with my own strength." Su Mingwei no longer held back. Internal energy surged within him, flowing through his key channels. A simple, unadorned punch, like a pillar reaching the heavens, struck directly at the heart of the enemy. Yang Shihu looked dismissive at first, but a gust of wind from the fist lashed against his face, and he immediately understood the profound power of this ordinary punch. Force defeats skill with its own strength. Black turtle hand, Yang Shihu attempted to dislodge the force, but Su Mingwei's strength far surpassed his. Even after some of it was dislodged, he still managed to break free from the encircling arm. With a crackle, the sleeve of his arm exploded. A blow to the chest sent him reeling back a dozen steps, pausing with a muffled groan. A sweet taste welled up in his throat, but he swallowed it back. "Cousin," a group of Yang family members began to speak, their expressions of concern evident. Yang Shihu waved his hand, chuckling at Su Mingwei. "What a master of strength, you're worthy of my cousin." With Yang Shihu's words spoken, the other Yang family members naturally dared not stop him. "Thank you." Su Mingwei cupped his fists and smiled faintly, about to lead his men inside. "Wait," Yang Shicheng stopped him. "You've already passed my cousin's test, but there's still mine to go through. Brother Shichen, I'm not looking down on you, but you better not make this difficult for yourself," Su Mingshu said with a smile. "Xiao Zuji, I didn't say we were going to duel." Yang Shichen raised his lip. "My dear brother-in-law, if you want to go in, write a poem urging you to get ready first." "Thank goodness I was prepared," Su Mingwei breathed a sigh of relief. "Then listen carefully. The brocade tent and the fragrant carriage stop at Legion. The painted hall illuminates the auspicious day with silver candles. In the diamond-shaped mirror, I paint my new brows. In front of the tortoise-shell curtain, I wipe away the old dust." "Excellent." Upon hearing this, the whole room cheered, applauding like thunder. Then, Su Mingwei, with his hands behind his back, paced a few steps before saying, "Don't think the fairies are slow in putting on their makeup. You must know that Xiao Shi is waiting at the gate. The east wind has prepared the golden rains, waiting only for you to comb your hair evenly." Chapter 34 Wedding, Breakthrough. Yang Mansion. Yang Ronghua's boudoir. Miss, young Master Su got into a fight with the young masters from the county. Brother Mingwei isn't hurt, is he? Of course young Master Su won. He even defeated young Master Shihu, whom the head of the family praised, with a single punch. Yang Ronghua was overjoyed, a shy look on her face. "I knew Brother Mingwei was the best." After a while, another maid ran in. "Miss, young Master Su wrote a poem urging you to get ready. The brocade tent and the fragrant carriage stop at Legion. The painted hall illuminates the auspicious day with silver candles. New rouge is painted in the diamond-shaped mirror. Old dust is wiped from the tortoise-shell curtain. It's time for us to leave too." In the main hall, Yang Zhao and his wife sat at the head of the main hall. After a large group of people entered noisily, Su Mingwei bowed to Yang Zhao and his wife. "Your son-in-law greets your father-in-law and mother-in-law." "Yes." Yang Zhao stroked his short beard and nodded with satisfaction. "The bride is here," someone shouted, and the crowd made way. A woman dressed in a bridal gown of alternating shades of jade shimmered slowly towards them. Her hair was crowned with a phoenix-shaped hairpin inlaid with kingfisher feathers, flanked by jade hairpins with flowers. She held a round fan with black lacquer and gold emeralds, half hiding her face. The fan's surface was painted with meticulously detailed flowers, revealing eyes like obsidian immersed in a spring. A jasper belt clung to her waist, its dangling silk ribbons adorned with jade emeralds, creating a resonant sound as she moved. The people around them suddenly fell silent. The moment Su Mingwei turned around, his eyes and heart were filled with a woman before him. Yang Ronghua knelt on the mat and bowed 3 times to Yang Zhao and his wife. "My daughter bids farewell to my father, mother." Madame Yang lowered her head, wiping away tears, a mixture of tears and laughter. "Go." Yang Zhao nodded. "Now that you're married, respect and obedience are paramount. Remember the family motto, be chaste and self-disciplined. My daughter will remember my father's teachings. Yang Ronghu choked back tears as she bowed to Yang Zhao. Yang Zhao looked at Su Mingwei again and said with a smile, my dear son-in-law, I leave Hua in your care. Take good care of her. I will never forget your father-in-law's teachings and will cherish her. Afterward, Yang Shichen carried Yang Ronghu out the door and into the bridal sedan. The Su family's wedding procession began its journey towards Dongxi village. Naturally, many members of the Yang family also followed, as customary practice, to support the bride's family and avoid being looked down upon by the groom. Around noon, the wedding procession returned to the Su residence. Then came the ceremony. The officiant sang, first, bow to heaven and earth, may husband and wife love each other without a doubt. Second, bow to the parents, may they live happily and live long. Husband and wife bow to each other, may they grow old together and never part. The banquet began. With the exception of Su Mingshu and Su Mingxin, who were younger, the others stayed by Su Mingwei's side, serving as both a drinker and a drinker. After all the toasts, Su Mingwei was half drunk, a good portion of which was due to Su Mingyin blocking the drink. With the support of Chen Daniu, Su Mingyin, Su Mingxin, and others, Su Mingwei entered the bridal chamber. Once there, a host of rituals remained to be observed. For example, the tying of hair, cutting each couple's hair and tying it into a pouch as a token of trust. The scattering of longan and red dates, praying for a soon birth of a son, the wedding ceremony, splitting the gourd into gourd, and the couple drinking bitter wine together symbolizes sharing joys and sorrows. Eating raw dumplings, will they result in childbirth? Night. My dear, we should rest. Yang Ronghu's voice was barely audible. Her cheeks were rosy and translucent, a sight to behold. Su Mingwei pulled down the curtains, holding her and slowly lying down. And then, the incense from the cauldron rustled, the curtains fluttered, a jade hairpin slanted across her hair. The moonlight shone through the curtains, glimpsing their entwined necks, the cry of cranes piercing the sky with their panting. The spiritual spring surged like waves in the Peach Creek, their true essence flowing through the Ren and Du meridians. The greatest joy of cultivation, a red lotus blossoming within its bud. Yang Mansion. Shihu, you lost to Su Mingwei of the Su family this morning, Yang Zhao's cousin Yang Hua said calmly. Dad, Su Mingwei is just as my uncle said. He's incredibly talented, a true master, and he seems to have supernatural powers, far surpassing the average person's strength, Yang Shihu said respectfully. Cousin, you've chosen a good husband for Ronghua, prepare well. In a month or so, father will have the necessary connections to get the transfer paperwork. Thank you, cousin, you're welcome. We're all family. Just remember to work for the family's benefit. Yang Zhao nodded in agreement. However, he also knew that the Yang family had chosen him because he was the most outstanding official in the family, with the best record. Given similar connections, the one with the best record naturally held greater promise. The next day, the Yang family returned to the county capital. Another month passed. Su Chuan and Su Mingwei and his wife came to bid farewell to Yang Zhao and his family. Father-in-law, mother-in-law, I'll definitely bring Ronghua to visit you in the county capital when I have time. There's no rush. Help your father expand the Su family. The waters of Qingjian County are too shallow. Ultimately, there's no room for your Su family, isn't that right, brother Chuan? Yang Zhao looked at Su Chuan, a smile on his face. Su Chuan smiled faintly, saying nothing more. Let's stop here. If we continue, we might reach the county capital. Everyone smiled at Yang Zhao's joke. After sending you 1,000 miles, we must finally say goodbye. Magistrate Wu, Lieutenant Fang, Brother Chuan's family, please support us. Haha, Brother Yang, of course, the Yang family had deep roots in the county capital. Magistrate Wu and his men naturally didn't want to risk offending the Yang family by tackling the Su family unless absolutely necessary. Besides, the Su family's business practices were impeccable, and they were as solid as a shovel. It wouldn't be easy for them to find a pretext. 2 months later, the dawn broke, and purple air drifted from the east. Su Mingwei sat cross-legged in the courtyard, breathing in and out, silently reciting the outlines of the little dragon elephant kung fu. The dragon soars, the elephant steps, dividing yin and yang. The harmony of water and fire refines the true energy. The 3 gates and 9 orifices connect heaven and earth. With each breath, one sees the profound yellow. His 5 hearts turned toward the sky, his Beihu acute point opening like a skylight, and he sensed the power of heaven and earth. Suddenly, his mind emptied, his consciousness like a mirror, illuminating his entire body. Pores opened like lotus petals, and the power of heaven and earth transformed into bright white light, seeping into his very skin. Half an hour later, Su Mingwei opened his eyes, his gaze filled with joy. I finally achieved this, sensing heaven and earth, drawing the energy into my body. 12 years of painstaking practice have finally lived up to my father's expectations. Just then, a maid emerged through the arch gate, her face also beaming. Master, the doctor came this morning and said that the eldest young lady is pregnant. Su Mingwei's eyes widened, and then he burst into laughter, even happier than when he had broken through to the innate realm himself. He immediately stood up and went to see Yang Ronghui. This news quickly spread throughout the Su mansion. Su Chuan was delighted and waved his hand, immediately rewarding all the servants, maids, and guards with half a month's wages. Whoever is pregnant, Shitao, you can't be so impatient anymore. Su Chuan glared at Su Mingwei, as if hinting at something. Su Mingwei scratched his head. He had a criminal record. On the second day of the wedding, Yang Ronghui was unable to get out of bed due to the tossing and turning the night before. The tea ceremony was deliberately moved to the afternoon. He was ridiculed by his brothers for a while. Bai Jing sat beside Yang Ronghui, grinning from ear to ear, holding her hand and constantly asking about her well-being. Su Mingwei pulled Su Chuan aside and said in a low voice, "Father, my son broke through to the Xiantian realm this morning." Really? Su Chuan showed surprise. Come on, follow me to the study to find out more. The percentage of true followers is a bit low. To be a true follower, you must have spent money on Qianyuan within March and read the latest chapter and turn to the last page. Donating 1 or 2 coins will also count. The recommendation round is coming soon. Please help me, godfathers. After being recommended, 1 chapter will be added every Monday and Tuesday. If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means it was downloaded and re-uploaded without effort. We warmly invite you to visit our channel, Fanfic World. There you will find the original version of this story and many other novels of various genres. We look forward to seeing you dive into a world of incredible novels. Chapter 35 Su Family Heritage. Bai Jing looked at the backs of Su Chuan and his son as they left, and spat lightly. These two are so mysterious. She turned her head and stroked Yang Ronghui's belly, smiling. Never mind them, my eldest grandson is the most important. Yang Ronghui smiled shyly. Mother, it's still early. Not too early, not too early. Bai Jing counted on her fingers. 8 months of pregnancy, it will be here in the blink of an eye. I must tell the servants to prepare some swaddling clothes. Yesterday I saw the brocade in the warehouse. It has a water green background embroidered with lotus flowers. It is the most suitable swaddling clothes for my grandson. Yang Ronghui was a little amused, but a touch of kindness appeared on her face. She stroked her belly and sighed. I just hope he can be as heroic as his father. Heroic what? Bai Jing shook her head and laughed. Thinking about Shi Tao when he was young, he was so naughty. Now he has been trained by his father to be as dull as a stone. It would be better for him to be cheerful. Yang Ronghui's eyes flickered. Mother, would you mind telling me about your husband's childhood? Yes, I'll tell you all. The air in the study was thick with the scent of sandalwood, its smoke curling between the window lattices. Su Chuan gazed at Su Mingwei with a blazing gaze. Shi Tao, what does it feel like to break through to the innate realm? Su Mingwei smiled and said, it's indescribable. In an instant, my mind becomes clear and my heart becomes as still water. I can feel the spiritual energy of heaven and earth lingering around me. When I draw that energy into my body, a warm current flows through my limbs and bones, bringing an incomparable comfort. Su Chuan nodded and smiled. By the way, Dad, our family has also collected 2 books of innate martial arts. The Black Tiger Secret Book can reach the perfection of the innate, and the Sky Dragon Secret Book can reach the early stage of the Grandmaster. Which one should I choose? Neither of them. Su Chuan sipped his tea and said calmly, martial arts is a transitional path, and cultivating immortals is the right path. Cultivating immortals? Su Mingwei smiled bitterly. I am nearly 20 years old. Even if I have spiritual roots, it may be too late. Your father knows whether you have the qualifications to cultivate immortals. Su Chuan's eyes flashed, and he smiled faintly. Among you brothers, only Qianyu has all 5 elements and can enter the immortal path. Qianyu can cultivate immortals. Then Dad, why don't you think of a way to let Qianyu embark on the immortal path? As long as Qianyu becomes an immortal cultivator, our whole family can benefit a lot. Do you think cultivating immortals is so simple? With the Su family's current financial resources, how can we afford an immortal cultivator? It is better to take one step at a time and wait for the opportunity. Opportunity? Su Mingwei looked puzzled and pondered. Don't worry about this for now. As for the Su family, I intend for you brothers to all pursue the path of martial arts. Martial arts? Su Mingwei was stunned. I've never heard of that. This is the Su family's greatest secret. Come with me to the ancestral hall. It's time to share some secrets with you. The ancestral hall was a key location for the Su family. It was always guarded. After Su Chuan entered, he opened a secret door and entered a dark room. There was a bookshelf with a few scattered books on it, all martial arts classics collected by the Su family. Within the dark room, there was also a secret cabinet. Su Chuan pulled out a manual and handed it to Su Mingwei. Take a look. It's not much. Memorize it. Innate 5 Elements Creation Guang. Su Mingwei began to flip through it. The first thing that caught his eye was the general outline. The 5 elements rotate to give rise to creation. The innate key permeates the universe. The unity of body and spirit leads to the understanding of the mysteries, returning to one's true nature to achieve immortality. The liver, the wood palace, stores the spirit of spring. The heart, the fire palace, contains the spirit of summer. The spleen, the earth pivot, regulates the 4 seasons. The lungs, the golden palace, contain the solemnity of autumn. The kidneys, the water abyss, absorb the essence of winter. When the 5 energies converge, you can see radiant halos of blue, red, yellow, white, and black emerging from the 5 internal organs, ultimately returning to the Danshan and merging into a chaotic egg. How mysterious, unbelievable, father, this is a true immortal technique. Su Mingwei was deeply shocked, a wave of shock rising in his heart. He then continued to read, discovering breathing techniques, induction formulas, and key principles for key training. The ultimate result of this practice is to transform acquired energy into innate energy, transforming all innate ki into the cultivator's mana. This completes the 5 spiritual roots, and then refines them, ultimately achieving true spiritual root qualifications. This technique involves the power of nature, and one must be in the innate realm to practice it. It starts from 3 generations, and only geniuses can practice this technique. No one can discuss it with those who are not in the know, including brothers, sisters, parents, children and other close relatives. This is an oath and must be passed down from generation to generation. Su Mingwei's face was solemn, and he said in a deep voice, my child, keep it in mind, after mastering this technique, one can directly switch to the path of immortality and become an immortal cultivator at the 5th level of key training. He can even quickly break through to the 6th level of key training. Su Chuan changed the subject and smiled lightly. Of course, this path is only applicable to the current Su family. Wait until the family really grows and becomes a family of immortal cultivation. Then those with qualifications in the family can enter the path of immortality from an early age, and those who lack qualifications can enter the path through martial arts. Su Mingwei nodded to show that he understood. After you've memorized this, leave the ancestral hall. In a few days, I'll announce that you will be temporarily in charge of the Su family's affairs, paving the way for your future as head of the Su family. What about you, father? I'm going to stay at Bahantan for a while, focusing all my energy on achieving my Xianshan breakthrough. I understand, I won't disturb you with family matters. Su Chuan patted his shoulder and left the dark room. Returning to his study, he silently recited the family tree, which emerged from his body and appeared before his eyes. Su Mingwei, 2nd generation of the Su family, age, 19, spiritual roots, incomplete 5 elements, no aptitude for immortal cultivation, talents. Innate divine power, eagle eyes, bloodline, none, realm, early stage Xianshan warrior. The Su family is now prosperous and full of vitality. With a 3rd generation of heirs about to be born, I'm sure there will be more and stronger talents born. Su Chuan's eyes were filled with anticipation. 2 hours later, Su Mingwei left the ancestral hall, spent some time with Yang Ronghua, and then began practicing the Xianshan 5 elements creation technique. Su Mingshu and Su Mingxin also went to visit Yang Ronghua. Sister-in-law, I heard you're pregnant when I got back. Am I going to be an aunt? Yang Ronghua smiled slightly. Yes, so you have to be more cautious. Bai Jing smiled and turned her gaze to Su Mingxin again. Yunyu, you're going to be an uncle. Are you happy? Su Mingxin nodded, then said something that made Bai Jing laugh and cry. I'm finally not the youngest in the family anymore. A few days later, Su Mingxin rushed back from a trip. Hearing the news, he was also very excited and hurried to visit Su Mingwei and his wife. "Brother, I have a happy event this time." Su Mingwei and his wife, Su Mingxun, and the others also looked over curiously. "Oh, tell me about it." "The innate dragon elephant art," Su Mingxun said with a smile. "In 1 year at the least, 2 years at the most, big brother, you will definitely be able to achieve the innate realm. The innate dragon elephant art is the follow-up to the small dragon elephant art. It can be practiced to the perfection of the Grandmaster. It is the most suitable innate martial art for you." Su Mingwei did not tell everyone that he had broken through to the innate realm. This is a trump card, and the fewer people who know about it, the better. As for the innate dragon elephant art, Su Mingwei also sighed in his heart. It's a pity that he can't use it. But it would be good to keep it at home and practice the martial arts in it. "Did you get it?" "Not yet, but there is news." Su Mingwei sipped tea and talked freely. "A wealthy businessman in this county heard that I was inquiring about this matter. Yesterday, he came back from the neighboring Liuan County and came to talk to me. He mentioned that a middle-aged warrior was interested in selling the innate dragon elephant art." Chapter 36. If that's the case, then there should be quite a few people who have obtained this innate martial art, Su Mingwei said. "Even if it costs more money to collect it in the family, it can also enhance the family's foundation." "Brother, you are wrong," Su Mingwei sighed. "No one has ever obtained this martial art. I heard that no one has offered a price that makes him tempted. Even someone offered a sky-high price of 50,000 taels, but he refused it." 50,000 taels. Su Mingxun was so shocked that he knocked over the teacup, and the tea splashed on his clothes without him noticing. "The Qianyuan secret book is only 7,000 or 8,000 taels, unless this martial art is passed down from one lineage to another, and there is only one copy in the world. But if it is really so precious, why sell it? Wouldn't it be better to accept a disciple and pass it on?" Su Mingxun said. "The vast majority of martial arts books are not unique. Copying a copy and selling it is a profit. In Qianyuan County, people with wide connections can buy internal energy secrets for a few hundred taels. The country people spread rumors and think it costs 1,000 or 2,000 taels. As for the Xiantian martial arts, it is more expensive, but the handwritten copy is only worth 4 or 5,000 taels at most. The secret book of Heavenly Dragon is rarely circulated. Scarcity makes things valuable, and it can be cultivated to the early stage of the Grandmaster, so it is natural that it is more expensive. However, the seller of the Xiantian Dragon Elephant Sutra," Su Mingwei pondered for a moment, raised his eyes and said, "Maybe he has his own plans." "I think so too. What he wants should not be as simple as silver and money, so I plan to go to Liuan County in a few days." Su Mingxun's eyes turned. "Second brother, take me with you." "Don't you have to go back to the martial arts hall? I am already a second-rate martial artist and could have graduated long ago. The others are staying in the martial arts hall temporarily because they can't find any good way out, and our family doesn't need my food." "Where's Li Zhi?" Su Mingwei asked. "He thinks he can get better training in the martial arts hall. He plans to become a first-rate martial artist before working for our Su family." "That's great," Su Mingwei nodded. "Li Zhi has considerable talent. If he dedicates himself to martial arts, he'll probably become a top-tier martial artist in 3 or 4 years. That would be even more helpful to our family. By the way, where's Dad?" Su Mingwei suddenly remembered that he hadn't seen Su Chuan since returning, so he asked. Su Mingxu laughed and said, "Brother, you're just remembering Dad. I'm so sad for him. You were just concerned about my eldest nephew and forgot about him." "So where is Dad?" Su Mingxun said. "He's living in the bamboo house by the Bihan Pond." "What are he doing there?" Su Mingxun was a little surprised. "He's in seclusion." Su Mingxun was concise and seldom talked nonsense, but then he said, "Dad said not to bother us unless it's something important." Su Mingxun stroked his chin, his eyes sparkling. "Speaking of which, Dad also practices the little dragon elephant kung fu." "What level is he at now?" The old man started practicing martial arts when he was almost 26, and it has been 12 or 13 years. "He should be a second-rate martial artist." "What second-rate martial artist?" "He has already started to challenge the innate level." Su Mingwei laughed and scolded, "Why are you asking so many questions? Do you want to compete with Dad?" I dare not. When his face darkens, I get scared and tremble." Su Mingwei grinned, causing Bai Jing and others to laugh. "You are still trembling. Among the group of people, you are the one who likes to stick to your dad the most since you were a child. When you were knocked down by a big rooster, you burst into tears. Bai Jing told the embarrassing story of Su Mingyian's childhood. Once again, everyone laughed and cried. Mom, I have to save my face too. Su Mingyian also felt embarrassed. Okay, I won't say anything, okay. 2 days later. Su Mingyian took Su Mingxuan, Chen Daniu and 2 second-rate warrior guards to Liuyan County. Liuyan County is only 2 hours carriage ride away from Qingjiang, but the streets are more chaotic than Qingjiang. In the dust, there are occasional drunks sleeping against the earth wall. Su Mingyian threw a few copper coins to the children on the street corner and found out that the seller's home was in the Baiyan. The door of the inn was mottled, and a faded wine flag hung under the eaves, fluttering in the wind. The 4 of them sat in the inn tea house for half a day until dusk, when they saw a bearded strong man returning from crushing the sunset. He was wearing a black cloak, a ring-handled sword with a mouthful of copper rust hanging on his waist, and the soles of his boots were stained with dark red mud. Are you looking for the innate Dragon Elephant Sutra? The burly man led everyone to the guest room on the 2nd floor. The room was simply furnished, with only a torn painting of a tiger descending the mountain hanging on the wall. The ink strokes were vigorous. That's right, my family accidentally got a little dragon elephant kung fu, and my brother has cultivated to the peak of the acquired realm, and is only 1 step away from the innate realm, so he is looking for the follow-up exercises. The middle-aged man had a full beard and a burly figure, looking fierce. Hearing this, he raised his eyebrows, and after a moment of silence, he said, "What is the price? Excuse me, is your handwriting the original or the manuscript? What about the original? What about the manuscript?" The burly man's tone suddenly turned cold, and his knuckles knocked on the wooden table. Su Mingyian got up and pushed open the carved wooden window. Looking at the bustling crowd downstairs, he said lightly, "The original is precious and usually has special meaning. We don't force it. A handwritten copy is enough. What I have in my hand is the original," said the bearded man. "Original? Did you get it by accident, or are you one of the scattered disciples of the Dragon Elephant sect?" The bearded man's pupils shrank, and his voice began to be mixed with coldness. "Does it have anything to do with you?" Of course, Su Mingyian had a flash of inspiration and guessed the other party's identity, and said, "If I'm not mistaken, you should be a member of the Dragon Elephant sect, and the reason why you are unwilling to sell it for 50,000 taels is probably that you have the intention of re-establishing the Dragon Elephant sect. I advise you to give up, even if more than 10 years have passed. Who knows whether the enemies of the Dragon Elephant sect still remember this name? Once they show up and are reported by someone with ulterior motives, it will probably be a disaster again. Are you so sure?" Su Mingyian turned around and responded with a smile, "My intuition has always been accurate. If so, what will you do? My Su family is here only for the manuscript." The bearded man pondered for a while and said, "What price is the Su family willing to pay?" In the end, it came back to the original question. But Su Mingyian had already roughly determined what the other party wanted from the conversation just now. "Help your excellency build a Dragon Elephant martial arts school and inherit the Dragon Elephant sect." The bearded man was shocked and showed a look of surprise, with a few traces of excitement in his eyes. "Of course, a simple martial arts school will definitely not be able to support it. It must be self-sufficient." How to be self-sufficient? Unknowingly, the bearded man has stepped into Su Mingyian's rhythm. His ability to be versatile and guess people's hearts made Su Mingxuan and Chen Daniu stunned. "You know, this is the first time they have seen this person, and the other party is still very wary. I don't know how many people have returned empty-handed from his hands. You are worthy of being my second brother." Su Mingxuan was secretly pleased with himself. Sure enough, talent is something that is difficult to make up for. Chen Daniu also sighed inwardly. In the past few months, he has been working beside Su Mingyian and has learned a lot. His father, Chen Ergao, was assigned to be the shopkeeper of a fruit shop in the county town. Su Mingyian smiled lightly. This is not something that can be explained in a few words, and it requires a lot of manpower, material resources and financial resources, and it also requires the approval of the head of my Su family. So, if you are willing, why not move to my Su family and stay for a few days to discuss this matter? The bearded man naturally knew that opening a martial arts school was not easy. After thinking about it, he asked, "Su family? Which Su family?" "Qianyuan County, Su family," Su Mingyian said. Chen Daniu was also perceptive and immediately introduced himself. "This is the second son of my Su family, Su Mingyian, and this is the third son, Su Mingxuan." Chapter 37 Cooperation. Second young Master Su, Third young Master Su, the bearded man clasped his fists in greeting, then stated his name, I'm Gu Yiping. Second young Master Su, you have a keen eye, seeing through my thoughts. I won't lie to you. Inheriting the Dragon Elephant sect is indeed my lifelong ambition. I'll accompany you to the Su family. If you can offer suitable terms, even this is not something I can't give you. After the negotiation, Su Mingyan and the others, seeing that it was getting late, stayed overnight at the Bai Jing. They returned to the Su family in Dongxi village the next day. Riding over the bluestone road, the rice paddies on either side stretched out like a green carpet, folded and swirling in the wind, stretching endlessly. Seeing children chasing egrets on the ridges, Gu Yiping couldn't help but sigh inwardly. Such a peaceful scene is rare. After making arrangements with Gu Yiping, Su Mingyan made a special trip to the bamboo house at Bahantan. Do you want to use this opportunity to develop the Su family martial arts school business? And by the way, cultivate useful talents for the Su family. Father is worthy of being a father. He saw through my plan at a glance. Su Chuan smiled faintly. Then we must grasp the right balance with what Gu Yiping wants. The child knows what is going on, Su Mingyan added. In addition, I want to expand the Su family winery, restaurant, clothing store, and fruit store to other counties. This matter is no trivial matter. It involves many aspects. The most important thing is whether there are loyal people available. You can first look for or cultivate suitable candidates. It won't be too late to put it aside for a few years. Qianyuan County is our home base and the top priority. If this place is not stable, everything else is out of the question. Su Chuan seemed to open a dialogue box. He glanced at Su Mingyan and continued, the Su family's business foundation is food, clothing, housing and transportation. Now we can expand a little. For example, carpentry shops, blacksmith shops, pharmacies and other industries that are helpful to the development of the family can be put on the agenda. We could also set up a Su family school, teaching the servants, guards, and other children free literacy lessons, cultivating their loyalty to the Su family from a young age. Su Mingyan nodded repeatedly, his admiration for Su Chuan rising immensely. If father were to manage this personally, my Su family's wealth would surely increase many-fold. Su Chuan smiled. People have their limits. How can father alone handle everything? Don't be so flattering. I'll just offer you some advice occasionally. I understand. Then there's this, father, you say, and I'll listen carefully. Bring someone home as soon as you can if you find one you like. Your eldest brother is married and has children, so it's your turn. Su Chuan raised his lip. If you don't hurry, I'm sure your mother will try to arrange a marriage for you. Don't blame father for not speaking up for you then. Father, I'm very open-minded. I hope you can find a woman you both love and spend your life with. Su Mingyan felt embarrassed. He'd known the day would come when he'd be pressed, but he hadn't expected his father to discuss this matter during the family's centennial plan. It truly caught him off guard. I understand, father. I'll do my best. Su Mingyan fled from Bahantan and returned to the Su residence. Su Chuan continued practicing the breathing technique of the little dragon elephant kung fu, sensing the celestial energy surrounding him. He'd come here because he felt Bahantan was unique, and perhaps the celestial energy gathered here would be even more intense. Su Mingyan had been there before, confirming Su Chuan's suspicions. After returning, Su Mingyan shared Su Chuan's words with Su Mingyan. The two brothers discussed for a long time and came up with a detailed plan. Now, many of the Su family's affairs have gradually been transferred to Su Mingyan and Su Mingyan. Su Chuan slowly withdrew. In the Su family's living room, behind a rosewood screen, Gu Yiping gazed at the painting fishing alone on a cold river hanging on the wall, his fingertips unconsciously tapping the armrests of his armchair. The beams and pillars in the hall were all painted with vermilion, the corbels were carved with lotus patterns, and the copper bells on the eaves brought the faint sound of stringed instruments in the wind. Gu Yiping stayed at the Su family for more than a day. He had a preliminary understanding of the Su family. The house was classical and magnificent, covering an area of more than 100 acres, and the overall color scheme was low-key and calm. This was definitely a powerful family in Qianyuan County. The servants, maids, and guards were all well-disciplined, gentle, and never talkative. He even encountered a white tiger with red gold eyes that walked through the moon cave door with tiger steps, which almost made him hit it with a palm. Seeing the profound foundation of the Su family, he believed 7 points of the Su family's words to help him open the Dragon Elephant Martial Arts School and pass on the Dragon Elephant School. Suddenly, Su Mingyan walked out of the back hall, The jade belt buckle on his waist clashed with a clear sound, and sat down directly in the main seat. Su Mingyan followed closely behind and sat in the first seat on the left below. Gu Yiping sized him up and silently thought, this Su family patriarch has quite an impressive appearance and bearing, but he's a bit too young. Brother, this is Gu Yiping, the heir of the Dragon Elephant sect, Su Mingyan said first. Su Mingwei looked at Gu Yiping, smiled, and nodded. Gu Yiping returned the greeting. This is my brother, Su Mingwei, acting patriarch of the Su family. Gu Yiping didn't care to ask why the Su family patriarch wasn't there. Su Mingwei's presence meant he had the final say. Brother Gu, what's your current strength, late Xianshan? Su Mingyan was slightly startled, but his expression remained calm, not revealing a trace of it. He simply said, that's enough to run the martial arts gym, otherwise, it would be more troublesome. What do you mean? Gu Yiping frowned. Currently, the Black Wind, Black Tiger, and Qianyuan martial arts schools in Qianyuan County are three major schools. There are occasional clashes, but if a new school suddenly emerges, it will inevitably be suppressed. It's almost always the case that it interferes with the interests of others. Gu Yiping nodded, agreeing with him. Therefore, my Su family's cooperation with the Dragon Elephant sect is risky. Su Mingyan continued, my Su family will help with publicity, recruiting disciples, and providing the school's financial needs for 3 to 5 years. In return, you must share your knowledge of Dragon Elephant sect martial arts, techniques, and secret medicinal recipes, and let me copy them. Gu Yiping began to analyze the pros and cons. Building and managing a martial arts school is extremely complex. If you were to build it to a certain scale alone, it would likely take him over a decade. He was already in his 40s and wanted to continue devoting himself to martial arts, hoping to reach Grandmaster status. It was impossible to balance both. While the martial arts, techniques, and recipes were valuable, they were all intangible. If they were not passed down, they would be lost even after 100 years. His greatest wish in life was to inherit the Dragon Elephant sect, so everything the Su family proposed was within his reach. Okay, after a long pause, Gu Yiping nodded. Then we'll discuss the details later. I plan to divide the Dragon Elephant martial arts school into an inner and outer sect. The inner sect is the authentic Dragon Elephant martial arts school. Disciples are strictly selected and vetted by Master Gu himself. The successor to the Dragon Elephant martial arts school will be chosen from this sect, and my Su family will not interfere. After 5 years, the master will have to find a way to provide the medicinal food and medicinal materials needed by the inner sect disciples. The outer sect will be managed by my Su family. We will provide recruitment and martial arts training. The master will be required to instruct the outer sect disciples once a month. The entire martial arts school's profits will be split 70% between my family and the master. Gu Yiping fell silent again, carefully absorbing the details of Su Mingyan's proposal. According to him, the inner sect of the Dragon Elephant martial arts school was the true legacy of the Dragon Elephant sect, while the outer sect could be considered the Su family's private property. It seems the Su family has long harbored the idea of establishing a martial arts school, but simply lacked the right person to manage it. A martial arts school is complex, and it would take another decade or two to see results. The Su family's investment must have been substantial. He only needed to manage his inner sect, with a clear distinction between the two, allowing him to devote more time to martial arts. I agree, then I wish us a happy cooperation. Chapter 38. The whole family is full of freaks. Ever since the Su family selected a site for the Dragon Elephant martial arts school, Gu Yiping has resided in the western wing of the Su family's courtyard. Every day at noon, he would spread out rice paper on the desk by the window, scribbling down martial arts essentials and medicinal recipes. The branches of the old locust tree in the courtyard grew denser and denser. Half a month passed in a flash. Gu Yiping placed the 2 martial arts techniques, Little Dragon Elephant Kung Fu and Innate Dragon Elephant Secret, along with 7 or 8 other martial arts manuals, 7 absolute swords, Treading Wind Step, Crazy Dragon Fist, and Divine Wind Palm, along with 4 medicinal recipes, in a rosewood box and handed it to Su Mingwei. Thank you, Master Gu. It was a consensual transaction. After a glance of recognition, Su Mingwei immediately went to the ancestral hall and put the items away. He schemed through each one, focusing on the 4 medicinal recipes. 3 of them were suitable for warriors below the innate level, while the remaining 1 contained innate medicinal recipes, which could aid innate warriors in their training. Su Mingwei selected a few martial arts that suited him and practiced them whenever he could. When his skills improved a bit, he invited Gu Yiping to spar with him. The golden crows set in the west, and the sky and earth suddenly became gilded. The bluestone bricks of the training ground still held the warmth of the day. Su Mingwei curled his fingers into a fist and stared at Gu Yiping. Before he even fired, the wind from his fist swirled the fallen leaves on the ground. Gu Yiping took the 7-star step, his left palm arcing like embracing the moon, and his right palm struck the other's chest with a sound of winds and thunder. Su Mingwei didn't dodge or evade, his left arm held horizontally as strong as iron. There was a dull bang, and Gu Yiping felt his palm go numb. He took a half step back to steady himself. His pupils shrank slightly, and he thought inwardly, what a powerful force. It doesn't seem acquired. Su Mingwei did not retreat but advanced, his figure floating like catkins, and by the time his toes touched the ground, he had circled to Gu Yiping's side. He thrust out his right fist flatly, the wind barely reaching him yet causing a faint tremor in the surrounding air. Gu Yiping hurriedly used his mad dragon fist to block, only to feel a surge of immense force, his entire body convulsed with energy and blood, his knuckles aching slightly. He hadn't used his innate ki, and hadn't expected to find himself at a disadvantage. Master Su, you truly are a hidden talent, the master has seen through it, Su Mingwei said with a faint smile. Even before the duel, he knew he couldn't hide his true strength from an innate warrior. But communication with such a skilled warrior was rare, so he didn't care. Before reaching the age of 20, he's already reached the innate level. Gu Yiping sighed deeply, a flicker of memory in his eyes. In the heyday of the Dragon Elephant sect, only 2 or 3 innate warriors, pre-20, would be produced every 10 to 20 years. Such individuals often reached Grandmaster status by the age of 35 or 36, and could hopefully reach the full Grandmaster level before the age of 60. As for himself, having reached the late innate stage at 40, he would be lucky to achieve a Grandmaster breakthrough in his lifetime. Unless he had the aid of Grandmaster level medicinal food. Even the Dragon Elephant sect lacked such precious medicinal foods. If they did, those Qianyuan cultivators who hadn't reached their 20s, as long as they didn't die or sustain serious injuries, would have a 70% to 80% chance of reaching Grandmaster perfection. It was just a fluke. There's no such thing as luck in the martial arts. Even with resources, without natural talent, it's hard to achieve great success. Qianyuan is a huge threshold, the beginning of a warrior's transcendence, a place to compete with immortal cultivators. Naturally, not everyone has the opportunity to make the leap. Even with the ki-inducing pills from the county city, even after taking 10 or 20, there are always those who remain inflexible. Young Master Su, let's stop here for our discussion. If you have any questions about practicing the innate dragon elephant art, feel free to ask me. Thank you, Master Gu. By the way, I have a younger brother and sister who are also practicing the small dragon elephant art. I wonder if they could offer some guidance. I'd love to see them. No need to trouble you, Master. Su Mingwei smiled and immediately ordered a servant, go and call my 4th sister and 5th brother here. Yes, young master. The servant bowed respectfully and left. A moment later, Su Mingshu arrived at the courtyard on a white tiger, with Su Mingxin standing nearby. Brother, why did you call us here? Dad's not here, and I'm afraid you two will be slacking off, so I've asked a master teacher to teach you. You must seize the opportunity. My 4th sister is slacking off, but I'm not, Su Mingxin retorted with a cold and arrogant look. This is my 4th sister, Su Mingshu, and my 5th brother, Su Mingxin, Su Mingwei introduced with a smile. Gu Yiping looked at the two, worthy of being the daughter and son of an aristocratic family. Despite their youth, they had already demonstrated remarkable talent. First, practiced the 12 moves of the little dragon elephant kung fu 3 times, Su Mingshu obediently dismounted from the tiger's back and patted the white tiger, which then moved to a corner and laid down. Gu Yiping was astonished. He had tamed a white tiger of this species to such an extent. Could he even understand a child's words? Su Mingshu and Su Mingxin stood side by side, a dozen steps apart. Then they moved in unison. With each move, Gu Yiping recited the essence of the formula. A young dragon awakens its spine. When it raises its head, it absorbs purple energy. Its tail hangs down to the ground, calming the 8 directions. The elephant's trunk rolls up the water, sweeping across the Milky Way for 3,000 miles. The energy sinks into the Danshan, transforming into thunder. The fire dragon swings its tail, sweeping away thousands of pounds to incinerate evil. While its feet step on the ground to refine true fire, the dragon and the elephant unite, the dragon rises and the elephant descends, stabilizing the universe. A thread pierces the Bai Jing acupoints, he nodded repeatedly. Judging from their movements, it was clear that both had practiced tirelessly, at least day and night, for years. The wind from their fists roared. To be able to generate such power, one must have reached the level of a third-rate martial artist. What a brilliant skill! Such prowess at such a young age. The Su family truly puts a lot of thought into nurturing their children. Su Mingwei smiled faintly, but remained silent. The martial arts hall hasn't been completed yet. I'm living and eating for free at the Su mansion. It's my duty to guide the younger generation. In that case, I'll trouble you, the hall master. Su Mingwei nodded slightly. Big brother, finally, a few days of peace and quiet. Su Mingshu ran up to Su Mingwei, her almond-shaped eyes curved into crescents, as if pleading. Su Mingwei lowered his eyes to look at her, the corner of his dark-colored dress lifted by the draft. His stern face was so majestic that even a white tiger would tuck its tail between its legs. At this moment, Su Mingwei's brows were slightly furrowed, and even if Su Mingshu had a lot of coquettish words on her mind, she had to swallow them back. Compared to the other members of the Su family, she was a little willful, but she also knew the situation and knew when to do and when not to do something. Su Mingwei was now the acting head of the family. When Su Chuan was away, his words were orders, and everyone in the Su family had to obey. When no one was around, she could act a little bit, but when outsiders were present, she must not disrupt the situation and lower the prestige of the head of the family. Fourth sister, don't think you can relax just because dad doesn't care about you, stinky little brother. Next time, don't take the cakes I bring you if you have the guts. Su Mingshu and Su Mingxin often bickered, and Su Mingwei was used to it. Gu Yiping watched in silence for a moment before speaking. The breathing technique of the little dragon elephant kung fu is key. Only by combining it with the dragon elephant breathing can you unleash the 12 forms to their full potential. This is also the key to sensing the power of heaven and earth and breaking through to the innate realm. Now continue practicing with this breathing technique. Your family has the corresponding medicinal recipe I provided. Using this technique will accelerate the opening of the acupoints. How fast can it be? Su Mingshu suddenly became interested, her eyes sparking. Gu Yiping smiled at the playful, adorable girl before him and said, becoming a first-rate martial artist by 17 or 18 is not a problem. If you have good talent and are diligent, reaching the peak of the acquired realm before 20 is no problem. If it's that fast, then wouldn't I be able to catch up with Big Brother's breakthrough speed? Little girl, how can ordinary medicinal food compare to the secret medicinal food that my dragon elephant sect has cultivated over hundreds of years of tradition and research? Alright, I'll practice. Gu Yiping stood aside, his hands behind his back, quietly watching the two of them practice the breathing techniques of the little dragon elephant kung fu and strike out in sync with the 12 dragon elephant forms. It's akin to multitasking. Perfect mastery is difficult without exceptional comprehension. This is why many within the dragon and elephant sect were initially unable to reach the Xiantian realm. But Su Mingshu clasped her palms together in a circle, her breath flowing like a spring silkworm silk. With each inhale, her clothes seemed to flutter in the breeze. Though steady, her momentum always faltered at the transition between dragon leaping the abyss and elephant stepping on the mountain, as if held back by invisible threads. Su Mingxin, however, possessed a different aura. He sat cross-legged, like a bell, his spine connected. Following Gu Yiping's guidance, inhale like a dragon diving, exhale like an elephant roaring, he unexpectedly found his key on his third breath. A faint aura emanated from his shining acupoint, and with each exhale, a dragon's roar rolled from his throat. Gu Yiping's eyes sparkled, and as he stroked his beard, he looked at Su Mingwei and said, both the fourth young lady and the fifth young master are incredibly gifted. It's all thanks to the master's guidance, Su Mingwei said calmly. When my Su family first acquired the little dragon elephant kung fu, we had no one to guide us, and we struggled at first. And who in the world today has mastered the essence of the little dragon elephant kung fu better than the master? You're too kind, master, Gu Yiping said with a smile. However, while the fourth young lady has extraordinary comprehension, the fifth young master is even more gifted in breathing techniques. Even with my guidance, it's rare to find someone who can achieve this in such a short time. My father also said that the fifth young master has the greatest talent among us, and his future achievements will definitely surpass mine. Gu Yiping was secretly surprised, and his curiosity about the Su family's patriarch grew even more intense. In the twilight, Su Mingxin had already grasped the secrets of breathing techniques and the transitions between moves. Gu Yiping's eyes flashed, and he nodded repeatedly, muttering softly, "He's truly a promising talent." He even considered taking him in as his disciple, inheriting the dragon elephant sex legacy. But then he remembered the Su family's regard for Su Mingxin, and figured they wouldn't agree. He could only suppress the thought for the time being. Time slipped away. Suddenly, the crimson wheel, where it was sinking to the west, began to struggle in its last moments. First, a 3-foot-tall crimson flame erupted, burning the clouds into a crimson-golden curtain, then shrank to a cherry-sized golden pallet, precariously perched on the azure mountain ridge. Meanwhile, a flock of crows flew across the sky, their wings grazing the spots of light, seemingly snatching away bits of the golden light. As the last rays of sunset passed over the martial arts arena, Su Mingxin suddenly rose, his left paw marking like a dragon's tail, his right foot stomping the ground like an elephant shaking a mountain. Leaves within 3 feet of him spun without a breeze, evidently possessing the true power of the samadhi of the unity of form and intention. "Excellent," Gu Yiping applauded, his eyes filled with admiration. "Brother, you're ahead again." Gu Yiping's praise stoked Su Mingxu's competitive spirit. "Let's have a sparring match. We've always been evenly matched, let's see who comes out on top today." "Fourth sister, you want a beating again?" Su Mingxin said, his words unrelenting. Blazing torches were already lit around the training ground, illuminating the entire area. "There's no need for you to. Your levels are still low, and there's little you can learn. Why don't you two team up? Whoever can gain the slightest advantage from me wins. How about it?" Su Mingxu and Su Mingxin exchanged a glance and said in unison, "Excellent." They stood to Gu Yiping's left and right, 3 figures snaking across the blue stone slabs, forming a winding dragon shape. Suddenly, Su Mingxu's toes touched the ground like a dragonfly skimming the water, her body suddenly shifting into a snake-like motion, each step creating a 3-inch wave of dust. As Gu Yiping pressed on her Jianjing acupoint, she suddenly raised her knees and swung her arms. The collision of her knees and fingers elicited a faint clang of metal. Su Mingxin's eyes flashed with brilliance, and he suddenly bent his waist and exerted force, cracking the blue bricks with a crackle, creating a spiderweb-like crack. A dragon's roar rolled from his throat as his right palm thrust out, while his left palm marked like an elephant's trunk sweeping across the sky. The combined force deflected torches 3 meters away. Gu Yiping smiled faintly and raised his other hand to meet the attack. Bang! The siblings locked eyes, then suddenly switched positions. Su Mingxu's sword finger, like a dragon probing the abyss, struck the center of the palace, while Su Mingxin's palm, like an elephant's trunk shaking a tree, blocked their retreat. In a chaotic dance of light and shadow, Mingxin's right palm, red as a branding iron, left a scorch mark on Gu Yiping's clothes. Gu Yiping blocked Mingxu's sword finger with a similar thrust. The surrounding torches crackled. Gu Yiping was quite surprised by the exchange. Both were third-rate martial artists, though Su Mingxin was slightly superior in terms of internal energy. Su Mingxu appeared quirky, but her martial arts were methodical and precise, a fact that was certainly due to her youth. However, Su Mingxin, similar in age, had a cold and arrogant exterior, yet he didn't follow the rules. If he hadn't improvised at the last minute, striking at his skirt, catching him off guard, Gu Yiping would have easily stopped him. Both of them are potential grandmasters. Even without the dragon elephant sex secret medicinal remedies, they've made such progress. I'm sure they'll make great strides from now on. Gu Yiping marveled at how young they were, hiding their weaknesses and possessing such cunning. Like Su Mingwei, it was impossible to detect them simply by looking at their appearance. Only through actual combat could one truly understand them. He didn't know where he'd learned these techniques. Second, young Master Su was also incredibly versatile and attentive. When discussing martial arts school details with him, he'd essentially followed his lead. He'd always grasped their own unique characteristics, and there was no way to find fault with them. This girl possesses a keen sense of perception and exceptional comprehension. The Su family is full of eccentrics. By the way, it seems that only the third son, Su Mingxun, is somewhat ordinary. However, that's only compared to his brothers. Compared to the offspring of other aristocratic families in the county, he's probably more than capable of becoming the family heir. Gu Yiping has been wandering for over a decade, traveling through dozens of counties and gaining considerable experience. This Su family is definitely among the upper echelons of the county. to be able to raise such a child. I really want to meet the father they're talking about." After Su Mingyun obtained the dragon elephant sex medicinal recipes, he began procuring them in large quantities. Each ingredient required at least 10 years of use. A single set cost around 10 taels. The recipes for medicinal recipes that aid innate warriors are even more precious. Su Mingwei said not to worry about him for now, and Su Mingyun collected all the medicinal recipes for warriors in just a few days. Furthermore, the Su family also began cultivating these herbs in their herbal fields. To open a medicine shop, one must ultimately have their own source of herbs, plus purchase them from the locals. These days, Su Mingyun is incredibly busy, recruiting staff, opening blacksmith shops, carpentry shops, herbal medicine shops, and schools. He doesn't expect immediate results. He wants to lay the groundwork first. Chapter 39, Repercussions. The eldest master is so kind to us. Carpenter Wang squatted at the foot of the wall of the Su family's newly built school, tapping his pipe and laughing. "With this elementary school, my dog Sheng will be able to read and write in the future. Even if he can't become a scholar, being an accountant is better than planing wood for a lifetime." Li Sen, the water carrier, straightened up when he heard this, and the shoulder pulse weighed on his shoulder, making a creaking sound. "Not only that. I heard that those with good qualifications can learn carpentry, tailoring, and even enter the Su family winery to learn brewing, which one is not a valuable skill." He looked at the wine flags flying from the winery in the distance, and his throat rolled unconsciously. "A few days ago, I saw the winery owner accepting an apprentice. The show was more grand than a rich man marrying off his daughter." The old bamboo craftsman twirled his beard and interjected, the bamboo knife making a thin sound on the green bamboo strips. "It depends on who you learn the craft from. The Su family's various crafts are secret. If you can learn one, it will be enough to ensure peace and security for generations, so naturally they will flock to it." It was the time for the children of the Su family's academy to finish their classes. Pigtailed children, carrying mulberry paper school bags, streamed out of the courtyard, chanting lines from the song Guan Guan Ju Jiu. Carpenter Wen gazed at the children's backs, his pipe clattering against the sole of his shoe. "When Gu Sheng learns to read, I'll definitely send him to the Su family's dyeing workshop as an apprentice. I hear they use sumac from the western regions, and the silk they dye sells for 10 taels of silver apiece." Ever since the Su family issued the decree benefiting the servants and guards, everyone, from the housemaid to the water carrier, wholeheartedly supported it. 2 days later, in the Su family kitchen, "I heard the eldest son is going to select strong young men from each courtyard to study martial arts at the Dragon and Elephant Martial Arts School these days. Is that true?" A porter, after filling a jar with water and wiping his sweat, suddenly mentioned it. Mrs. Zhang, the kitchen helper, turned and smiled. "Hey, my Ada is as strong as an ox. I asked the steward to write down his name yesterday." Mrs. Li, who was washing vegetables, was suddenly surprised and said, "Really? My grandson, Shui, is so talented and intelligent, and has a high level of understanding. He's definitely a good material for martial arts training. I'll go join in the fun later. What are you waiting for? I'll pick some for you first." You hurried to the front yard to sign up. "This is a matter that will change your grandson's fate. How can you wait?" Despite the hustle and bustle, every servant, maid, and guard was dedicated and diligent, not daring to neglect their work. They were even more meticulous and diligent than usual. They didn't feel tired at all, and all had smiles on their faces, their eyes filled with longing and hope. 3 months had passed in the blink of an eye. Since the secret medicinal food of the Dragon Elephant sect entered the Su mansion, the Su brothers had made great progress in their martial arts. Even though Su Mingyun and Su Mingxun weren't practicing the little Dragon Elephant Kung Fu, their progress in opening their acupoints was already 70 to 80% faster than before. This was entirely due to the efficacy of the medicinal diet. The truly secret medicinal diets were never revealed by any major martial arts academy or family, as they were the foundation. The only medicinal diets provided to martial arts academy disciples were ordinary medicinal diets. In its heyday, the Dragon Elephant sect, with its top-tier martial arts masters at the helm, was comparable to a fifth-rank aristocratic family, a formidable force even in a county city. Meanwhile, the upper third-rank aristocratic families and sects were generally only found in the imperial city. "Brother, this Dragon Elephant sect's medicinal food is truly extraordinary," Su Mingxun said cheerfully to Su Mingwei. "Even before I reach the age of 20, I have a 30–40% chance of reaching the peak of the acquired martial arts realm. Opening the acupoints is certainly important, but martial arts skills cannot be neglected either, Su Mingwei said. Before, our family didn't collect much, so there weren't many options. Now that we have some of the dragon elephant sex martial arts heritage, we must make good use of it and fully utilize this advantage. I understand, brother. After replying, Su Mingxun's expression of longing returned. I don't know what the dragon elephant sex heritage was like at its peak. I guess what my Su family has obtained today is less than 1/5 of it, perhaps. Su Mingwei smiled faintly. At this moment, Su Mingyi strode in from the hall. Second brother, it's been a long time since I saw you, Su Mingxun said with a smile. I don't have the leisure time you do. I'm in charge of the family business, and lately I haven't even had much time to practice martial arts. I've made great progress. Hearing this, Su Mingwei thought of the innate 5 elements creation technique, of whose siblings, only the 5th child, Yun, possessed the aptitude for cultivation. The Su family had the great fortune of advancing from martial arts to Taoism, giving everyone the opportunity to cultivate, and he also hoped that Su Mingyi would join him. However, Su Chuan had instructed that he must reach the innate stage before revealing it. He dared not disobey. After a moment's hesitation, Su Mingwei looked up at Su Mingwei and said, Yuan, while the family business is important, you must never give up your own martial arts. Otherwise, my father will be angry. He tests me every 6 months. Let's wait a while, until the new business is on track, and I can spare some time. Yes, Su Mingwei nodded. Actually, I'm curious why father insists on forcing us into the martial arts. Even if we reach Xianshan, what good will that do? It's just 100 years of dust, Su Mingxun wondered. Father has his own plans. If you don't listen and are punished, don't blame me for not pleading with father. Brother, I was just kidding. Su Mingwei was the future head of the Su family and the current strongest individual. His words carried immense weight among his siblings. Please spend more time practicing martial arts when you have time. I heard Zuji and Yunyu have made considerable progress in the past 3 months. You two, as older brothers, must not be surpassed. Being surpassed is good. It proves our family is full of talented people. Su Mingyi laughed heartily. If we had 2 more martial arts prodigies like you, my Su family would be stable. Did you hear any rumors? Su Mingwei knew Su Mingyi well and knew he wouldn't speak without a purpose. Su Mingxun's smile quickly faded. It's just some rumors. County Magistrate Yang has just left, but his power remains, and our Su family is no less formidable. I just think it's best to have someone close to us in the government. If one of us could become county magistrate, or county lieutenant, that would be great. It depends on chance. It's not something you can just choose. Let's talk about it later. Su Mingwei's pupils narrowed as he spoke, a cold glint flickering in his eyes. As for other clans and aristocratic families, if they dare to invade, our Su family will show no mercy. Hearing Su Mingyi's words, he felt it was time to find an opportunity to showcase his martial prowess. Aristocratic families with innate warriors commanded a power unmatched by ordinary families. As far as he knew, only 5 families in Qingjian County possessed this kind of influence: the Wufang, Wang, He, and Xiao families. The 3 major martial arts schools were backed by the Wufang, Wang, and Xiao families. If Yang Zhao hadn't been parachuted in, the position of county magistrate might have gone to an innate warrior from one of the Wang, He, and Xiao families. Of course, to hold these important positions, warriors typically reach the innate stage before the age of 50. It's impossible for you to be elected when you are over 60. Most of the people who are elected are famous and powerful locals, or they may be parachuted in like Yang Zhao, who will make some money, get some political achievements and then leave. How are the martial arts school going? Su Mingwei felt that the opening of the Dragon Elephant Martial Arts School might be a good choice. It will be completed in half a month. We have also selected a dozen people with good roots from our own servants, guards, maids and other descendants to be trained as the first batch. In addition, we have also hired 5 first-class warriors as instructors. It's just that, Su Mingyi paused, hesitated for a while, and then said, there are very few children and teenagers from wealthy families who are really attracted. There is no rush for this matter. You always say that good goods will sell well. The opening of the martial arts school will be very lively, and there will always be people coming here because of its reputation. Su Mingyi looked thoughtful, raised his eyes and smiled self-deprecatingly. That's true. Chapter 40 Sichuan Xianshan. Today's divination, Auspicious. You will cultivate diligently in the Bai Jing pond today and gain an opportunity. This, daily divination, can only predict the matter you inquire about. It is useful, but not particularly relevant to him at this moment. However, asking this question daily has actually allowed his soul power to continuously grow. Chuan, without giving it much thought, began his diligent cultivation for the day. In the blink of an eye, it was already the sea hour. Suddenly, a sudden inspiration struck him, and he sensed the power of heaven and earth around him. Every pore in his body seemed to open as if to breathe, and his meridians continuously drew this power into his body. Crackling. His bones made strange noises. Then, tiny dots of a black substance oozed from the surface of his skin. Marrow cleansing and bone strengthening. This is a blessing that only comes from successfully drawing Qi into the body for the first time. Half an hour later, Chuan opened his eyes, which lit up with a green light, and his face was filled with joy. Innate, it's done. As expected, lifespan and physique have a significant impact. I have 3 great natural gifts, but I only achieved innate enlightenment when I was approaching 40. If someone else had started martial arts at 25 or 26, becoming a third-rate warrior would be considered exceptional. The younger you are, the easier it is to open acupoints. After 20, the difficulty increases. Smelling the strange odor on his body, Chuan smiled casually. He walked to the Bai Jing pond, removed all his clothes, and placed them on a large blue stone nearby. Then he jumped in. The icy cold sent a shiver through his body. He quickly circulated his innate energy throughout his body, then enjoyed the icy water like a normal bath. Let's go down and take a look. After a moment, Chuan took a deep breath and dove into the pool. But the water was deeper than he had imagined, and the strain was greater. Ultimately, he gave up and surfaced. How bizarre. Could this place truly hold a rare opportunity? Chuan pondered for a moment, ultimately deciding to try again later. I haven't been down the mountain for 3 months. I wonder how those kids are doing. Chuan, a hint of a smile on his face, paced down the mountain with his hands behind his back. Master, as he passed by farmlands and orchards, the patrolling guards and farmers in the fields all bowed and saluted him. It was clear that the Su family was popular. Some guards even ran back to the Su family to report the news of his descent. The Su family suddenly became busy. Upon hearing this, the 3 brothers Su Mingwei, Su Mingyan, and Su Mingxuan were delighted. Daddy came down the mountain. Could it be that he had a breakthrough? Su Mingwei knew best why Chuan went into seclusion in the mountains. He was a little excited. Our Su family has another Xianshan. Yuan, Tao, you go to the gate to greet Daddy first. I'll go find Mom and your sister-in-law. Okay, big brother, the 2 brothers replied with a smile. The master of the family has returned, voices echoed through each courtyard, and moments later, they permeated the entire Su residence. Ah, father has come down the mountain, Xiao Bei, let's go. Su Mingshu immediately stopped practicing, leaped onto the white tiger's back, and sprinted towards the door. Su Mingxuan followed closely, his feet treading the wind. The master of the Su family, Gu Yiping muttered, hands behind his back, also heading for the gate. Not long after, Su Mingwei, supporting Yang Ronghua, and Bai Jing slowly approached. At this point, quite a number of people stood at the gate, 2 rows filled with servants, maids, and guards, with the Su family's masters in the middle. Such a grand occasion. Chuan, noticing the crowd from afar, smiled slightly, then shook his head. Going down the mountain was no big deal. As they reached the gate, Bai Jing approached with tears in her eyes, lowered her head, wiped her tears, and said, "You still remember to come back, lonely? I'll keep you company tonight." Chuan laughed. "You still love to chatter," Bai Jing chuckled. And then, Dad, X5, Su Mingwei, along with the rest of his siblings, came forward and shouted in unison. Chuan smiled and nodded. Su Mingshu and Su Mingxuan were the first to run to either side of him. Su Mingxuan was a little insistent, but Su Mingshu embraced him. They were still at the age of being spoiled, but the others had already passed that stage. "It feels like we haven't been together for years." Chuan didn't know whether to laugh or cry. His eyes lit up, and he spotted Gu Yiping in the crowd. He stepped forward and said with a smile, "Master Gu, right? I'm sorry to have embarrassed you. Your true feelings are so revealing. How can I be embarrassed? I'm actually envious." Gu Yiping was moved by the sight of the Su family lining the streets to welcome Chuan. He had been wandering for half his life, and he was still alone. "Everyone, go about your business." "Yes, master." The maids and servants bowed respectfully and began to disperse. "Let's chat in the hall," Chuan said. "Rongho and I are going somewhere else," Bai Jing said with a faint smile. "Well, don't tire her out, you didn't need to remind me." With that, Bai Jing and Yang Rongho returned to the backyard, while the others went to the Su family's main hall. "Father, what a coincidence you came down the mountain. The Dragon Elephant Martial Arts School will be opening in half a month," Su Mingyun said with a smile. "With Master Gu, a late-stage Xiantian master, in charge, I think there won't be any problems. Shitao, you'll go and keep things in good stead. It wouldn't be nice to have Master Gu do everything himself." "Yes, father," Su Mingwei nodded. He then looked at Gu Yiping, asking about his stay at the Su family and whether he'd been poorly treated. After a few rounds of small talk, they returned to the training grounds. Chuan had Su Mingwei evaluate his younger brothers and sisters one by one. Overall, Chuan was satisfied. They had all taken his advice to heart and were seriously working on their martial arts. As for Su Mingyun, "Qianyuan, if you don't work harder, Zhu Ji and Yu will catch up." "Father, I've tried my best." Su Mingyun's face was filled with bitterness. He knew he would be the focus of attention. "I don't blame you," Chuan said with a smile. "You've made an indelible contribution to the Su family's current success, but you must also improve your martial arts. I don't want you to be the only one of the 5 of you stuck at the peak of the acquired realm." "Yes, father." Su Mingyun lowered his brows, his face filled with melancholy. If the wealthy businessmen of Qianyuan County saw Su Mingyun like this, they would probably be incredulous. This was the smooth-talking, high-spirited god of wealth of the Su family. At night, Chuan made up for Bai Jing's months of loneliness. After the passionate lovemaking, Bai Jing lay in Chuan's arms, enjoying the quiet moment. "Husband, did you make any major breakthroughs in your martial arts training this time in the mountains?" Bai Jing traced small circles on Chuan's chest with her fingers. "My dear, you've seen it, haven't you?" Chuan's lips curled slightly as he looked down at her, his other hand roaming over her smooth back. Bai Jing's face flushed red as she recalled the scene. She was almost 40 now, yet she was as wild and unrestrained as a wolf, feeling a little too unrestrained. "Haha, we're husband and wife. What's there to be ashamed of when it comes to sex? It's all my fault, husband. You have so many tricks, I don't know how you came up with them. My dear, aren't you also very involved?" Bai Jing's face flushed further, and she said with a hint of irritation, "If you keep saying that, I'll get angry." "Ha ha ha, no more, no more." Chuan turned serious. "After these months in the mountains, your husband has finally broken through to the level of an innate warrior." "Ah, innate." Bai Jing naturally knew the meaning of innate warriors. In the entire Qianyuan County, there were only a handful of innate warriors. She looked at Chuan in disbelief. "My husband, didn't you start practicing martial arts at the age of 26? How could you become a congenital warrior?" "That shows that your husband is gifted." "Yes, in every aspect. But there's no need to tell anyone. It's good for the Su family to have another trump card." "I'm not a talkative person, I know." Chuan kissed her forehead and said, "You're tired tonight, take a rest. There's a long way to go. There's another chapter at 6 p.m, don't forget it, fellow Taoists." Chapter 41 Dragon Elephant Martial Arts School. Half a month later. In Qianyuan County, west of the East Market, a grand courtyard with a tall gate rose in March, boasting pavilions, towers, rockery, and a serene pond. There was also a large open space paved with bluestone. In the southwest corner, wooden dummies of varying heights stood. In the southeast corner, a variety of traditional weapons, spears, broadswords, swords, and halberds, were displayed. Each one polished to high shine, reflecting a cold light. In front of the gate, a pair of majestic stone lions stood proudly. Not far away, a towering willow tree drooped its branches, immersing itself in a turquoise pond. A plaque inscribed the golden characters Dragon Elephant Martial Arts School. At this moment, red firecrackers littered the ground, and the plaque was draped with red silk. The gate was crowded with people, from wealthy businessmen in ornate attire to ordinary people in simple attire. "Everyone, today our Su family opens the Dragon Elephant Martial Arts School. Please come and support us." Su Mingwei, the next patriarch of the Su family and a Grandmaster seed, possesses unparalleled talent. His words carry immense weight and represent the Su family. "Please come in, The Wang family presents 3 top-grade swords to congratulate the opening of the Dragon Elephant Martial Arts School. The Xiao family presents a pair of jade pendants inlaid with dragon patterns to congratulate the opening of the Dragon Elephant Martial Arts School. The Wu family presents 3 top-grade swords. A martial arts school opening naturally invites gifts. However, not all guests are kind, and not all gifts are polite. The Su family's intentions to take a bite out of Qianyuan County's martial arts schools were well known to many prominent families, and most of them were there to observe the excitement. After all, the 3 major martial arts schools were backed by the Wu, Feng, and Wang families. These 3 families were arguably the most powerful in Qianyuan County, with a nearly 200-year legacy and a rich heritage. Even the current Su family pales in comparison. With Yang Zhao's transfer to the county capital, their concerns about the Su family eased somewhat. After all, a powerful dragon cannot overpower a local snake. Furthermore, the Su family now threatened to disrupt their interests. Naturally, rebellion and suppression were inevitable. The Su family members present today were Su Mingwei, Su Mingyan, and Su Mingxuan. They showed their guests around and then introduced the newly recruited instructors and the academy's owner, Gu Yiping. However, these aristocratic families dismissed Gu Yiping, believing him to be a mere figurehead for the Su family, whose true voice rested with him. Master Su, we've visited the Dragon Elephant Martial Arts School. It's certainly well built, but the true heart of the academy lies in its instructors and owner. Without a good teacher, studying at a martial arts school is a waste of time. What do you think? A burly middle-aged man in a black gauze cloak with a golden dragon embroidered on the collar suddenly stepped forward and looked at Su Mingwei with a hint of disdain. Master Blackwind's insights are truly insightful. So, what do you consider to be a good teacher? A martial arts school is primarily about martial arts, and the strongest warriors are respected. I see. Then, Master Blackwind, who do you plan to appoint as your disciple? No need to waste time. I'll personally examine them, then please move to the training grounds. A large group of people arrived at the training grounds. Master Blackwind walked to the center of the open space and glanced at the people around Su Mingwei. Young Master Su, who are you planning to send? Don't worry, I, Wang, will not bully the weak. I have admired you for a long time and would like to learn a few things. Su Mingwei smiled and walked across from Master Blackwind. Master Blackwind's eyes lit up, and the thought of severely injuring Su Mingwei and ruining his martial arts career flashed through his mind. Su Mingwei was too much of a threat. If you were contained now, it would slow the Su family's development by at least 20 years. Go ahead, Master Su. Show me your strength. The Blackwind Master was incredibly confident. He had been a Xiantian warrior for years, and though he was still only at the early stages, his foundation was solid. He could easily suppress 7 or 8 peak-level Xiantian warriors. Without further ado, Su Mingwei burst forth in a flash, lunging towards the Blackwind Master. His palms slithered like snakes, twisting and turning, leaving trails of afterimages in the air. With a whistling wind, he struck the Blackwind Master's chest with eerie, shifting momentum. The Blackwind Master's pupils suddenly constricted, and he stomped his foot, rapidly retreating. But Su Mingwei's speed matched his own, his palms clinging like a green snake. He leaped into the air, somersaulting, and landed behind Su Mingyan. Su Mingwei transformed his palm into a fist, his softness transforming into fierce, overbearing force. With overwhelming force, his fist blasted with pressure and intimidation. The Blackwind Master had already retreated. If he retreated again, it would appear he was afraid of Su Mingwei. And who was he? One of Qianyuan County's most renowned Xiantian warriors. He held a high position within the Wang family, being the uncle of the Wang family head. If he retreated, it would mean the Wang family retreated before the Su family. Blackwind palm. The Blackwind Master held nothing back. A stream of black air condensed into a black palm print, meeting Su Mingwei's fist directly. Xiantian Qi, Master Blackwind, I just happened to cultivate it. The Xiantian Qi erupted, and the fist wind turned golden, instantly converging into a golden fist, radiant with the golden light, unleashing the ultimate in domineering power. Bang! Punch and palm collided in midair, each half black and half gold. After a few breaths, with a bang, the two men each retreated several steps, surprisingly evenly matched. This eldest son of the Su family has actually broken through to the Xiantian realm. He's not even 20 yet, is he? In 3 months, after the annual festival, he'll be 20. He's worthy of being a future grandmaster. He's barely reached the Qianyuan realm, yet he's already on par with veteran Qianyuan warriors like the Black Wind Pavilion Master. The surrounding noble families were amazed. Some who had been prepared to watch the excitement were stirred by Su Mingwei's breakthrough. At this rate, given another 10 years, wouldn't he have a chance of becoming a Grandmaster? With such a formidable force, no noble family in Qianyuan County would dare to provoke him, even the government would be wary. After all, the county's strongest military force was at the level of the Qianyuan perfected. The Black Wind Pavilion Master is truly still going strong despite his age. Come again, Su Mingwei shouted, charging at the Black Wind Pavilion Master once again. The Black Wind Pavilion Master's face sank, as if insulted, and he began attacking Su Mingwei's weak points. Bang, 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 attack, defense, roles constantly shifting. During this process, the Black Wind Pavilion Master noticed that Su Mingwei's strength was increasing, almost without limit. However, an innate martial artist's innate ki is limited. If he continued to attack with such ferocity, his innate ki would be exhausted after just a few dozen moves. But in a moment, the Black Wind Pavilion Master began to be suppressed by Su Mingwei. His hands were numb from the constant fighting, and he almost lost the strength to hold his weapon. He was just holding on. But if he continued, his hands would be damaged or even completely destroyed. What terrifying bones! He is indeed a martial arts prodigy. The Black Wind Pavilion Master was over 60 years old, and his bones were beginning to become porous. Naturally, he was not as good as younger martial artists of the same level, let alone a martial artist like Su Mingwei, who was blessed with a natural destiny. Just as he was unsure whether to force his way through or admit defeat, Su Mingwei suddenly stopped. As expected of a senior, your experience is unmatched by a junior like me. How about we call it a day today? The Black Wind Pavilion Master was surprised, but relieved that the other party had given him a way out. But then he remembered that the other party was not even 20 years old and had just entered the Qianyuan realm. He had been immersed in the Qianyuan realm for over a decade. Although he had not yet broken through to the middle Qianyuan realm, his foundation was solid. It was true that a young man could defeat a master with his random punches. The Black Wind Pavilion Master sighed softly. Young Master Su is incredibly talented. I'm afraid it won't be long before he surpasses me. I'm getting old. The Black Wind Pavilion Master sighed, exiting the arena and joining the Wang family. I wonder if there are any other seniors who would like some advice. Su Mingwei's eyes suddenly sharpened, scanning the surroundings like a knife. Ordinary people wouldn't dare meet his gaze. His demeanor was calm and composed, revealing something of the demeanor of a master. If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means it was downloaded and re-uploaded without effort. We warmly invite you to visit our channel, Fanfic World. There you will find the original version of this story and many other novels of various genres. We look forward to seeing you dive into a world of incredible novels. Chapter 42, A Battle Shocks King Jiang. The Wu and Fang families exchanged glances, each revealing a deep fear. Someone who had silently broken through to the Qianyuan realm, remaining silent until now, only now revealing their strength before everyone. Being both brave and strategic, such individuals are often the most formidable. For example, while Gu Yiping possesses considerable martial arts talent, he lacks management skills, and it would be impossible for him to single-handedly support the Dragon Elephant Martial Arts School. This was also the reason for his partnership with the Su family. Brother, please help suppress the Su family's arrogance, the Wu family patriarch said in a low voice. The brother he was referring to was the owner of the Qianyuan Martial Arts School. He was much younger than the Black Wind Master, only in his 40s, but already reaching the middle Qianyuan stage. Su Mingwei is no ordinary person. The Qianyuan Martial Arts School had been closely observing the battle between the two men. He has amazing bones and is probably a little stronger than a mid-stage innate warrior like me. A mid-stage innate warrior has a little more innate true energy than an early-stage innate warrior. When he is at full strength, I can only suppress him, but my age is there after all. If we are evenly matched, in the eyes of everyone, I will still be the loser. The head of the Wu family frowned and thought for a moment. In that case, then let's target the owner of the martial arts hall. Severely injuring him can also make the Dragon Elephant Martial Arts Hall lose face. The Qianyuan Martial Arts Hall glanced at Gu Yiping beside Su Mingwei and said lightly, "Yes, my dear nephew Mingwei, you are worthy of being the Grandmaster Seed of my Qianyuan County." The head of the Wu family praised with a smile, "If you are the owner of the Martial Arts Hall, I think no one present will disagree." "Oh, The head of the Wu family wants to test the strength of the owner Gu. Su Mingwei raised the corner of his mouth slightly, and his smile seemed to see through their thoughts. A patriarch friendly with the Wu family suddenly remarked, "The Wu family is right. If a martial arts school lacks strength, how can you manage it and teach the disciples? Are you going to get beaten up by the disciples?" Hearing this, Gu Yiping could no longer remain silent and stepped forward. "If you from Qianyuan County wish to test my martial arts skills, that's perfectly fine. Since Master Black Wind has already sparred with young Master Su, why not invite Masters Qianyuan and Black Tiger to spar with me? What do you think?" As soon as he finished speaking, someone started to jeer. "Ha ha ha, Master Gu, you're so arrogant. You're actually thinking of fighting two masters at once. Indeed, if you can stand undefeated against one of them, you're worthy of managing a martial arts school." Facing the mockery, Gu Yiping remained calm. He walked to the center of the arena, shook his body, and suddenly a burst of energy erupted, forming a powerful gust of wind that swept across the sky and pressed down in all directions. Their terrifying power was no less than that of Su Mingwei and the Black Wind Pavilion Master. Another Xiantian. Where did the Su family find this Xiantian warrior? Yes, we've never heard of such a person in Qianyuan County. The crowd was in an uproar, a flurry of discussion. A green glint flashed in the eyes of the Sky Dragon Pavilion Master, and he said to the Black Tiger Pavilion Master, "Brother Fang, since Pavilion Master Gu wishes to spar with us, why not grant him the opportunity?" The Black Tiger Pavilion Master nodded. Their figures transformed into afterimages, floating to the center of the arena. The three of them locked eyes and then engaged. The Sky Dragon Pavilion Master and the Black Tiger Pavilion Master, one on the left and one on the right, each palm transformed into Dragon Claw, the other into Tiger Claw, striking Gu Yiping from either side. Gu Yiping blocked the blows with his arms, easily blocking them. Then, he changed his moves, his hands coiling like green snakes, attempting to grab the two's arms. But the Sky Dragon Pavilion Master and the Black Tiger Pavilion Master were no pushovers, changing their moves simultaneously. Bang, 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 the three of them countered their attacks, leaving ordinary people only able to see a rapidly shifting afterimage. Dozens of breaths passed. Gu Yiping's one-on-one confrontation with the two gym masters was a match for the others, shocking everyone present. Remember, both gym masters were mid-stage Xiantian warriors, at the peak of their powers. They weren't just putting on a show, were they? Two mid-stage Xiantian warriors couldn't defeat a nobody? Many people secretly wondered. So powerful. This wasn't just any mid-stage Xiantian warrior, perhaps even late Xiantian. The Qianyuan and Black Tiger gym masters exchanged a look of shock. They no longer held back, each channeling their Xiantian ki to unleash their martial arts. Xiantian ki can leave the body, possessing immense power, and even possessing special effects depending on the technique and technique. Heavenly Dragon Claw, Black Tiger Fierce Fist, a Golden Dragon Claw and a Crimson Fist simultaneously struck Gu Yiping's heart, one after the other. Dragon Elephant Protective Shield. Suddenly, a dragon roar and an elephant cry emanated from Gu Yiping, forming a dark blue ki shield that blocked both the Golden Dragon Claw and the Crimson Fist. Clang. The sound waves rippled outward, and some people present suddenly felt a rumbling in their ears, their heads starting to ache. Fortunately, it lasted only a moment, otherwise those who weren't even martial artists would have lost their ears. Bang! Bang! The Qianyuan Pavilion Master and the Black Tiger Pavilion Master were both thrown back. Dragon Elephant combined attack. Gu Yiping took advantage of the two men's retreat, their balance still unsteady, and sent the Qianyuan Pavilion Master flying with a punch, followed by a kick that sent the Black Tiger Pavilion Master flying. Silence suddenly fell. Only the audible crack of throat bones dislocating as people swallowed could be heard. "Master Gu, I think the sparring is almost over," Su Mingwei suddenly said. Gu Yiping subdued his aura upon hearing this. The Qianyuan Pavilion Master and the Black Tiger Pavilion Master slowly rose, their faces slightly pale, their breaths unsteady. Still, they both cupped their fists to Gu Yiping and said, "Thank you for your mercy." "No problem." Gu Yiping glanced around. "Who else wants to spar with me?" "No matter who it is, I'm happy to play." A hushed silence fell. "Haha, Master Gu, you're joking. We're thrilled to have the Dragon Elephant Martial Arts School established." "Yes, Master Gu, you're unrivaled in all of Qingping County. With you at the helm, business will surely flourish." Everyone seemed to have changed their expressions, praising Gu Yiping and the Dragon Elephant Martial Arts School. Thank you all for your support, Gu Yiping said calmly, cupping his fists. The 5 great families of Wu, Feng, Wang, He, and Xiao had fallen silent. Having lost face today, they had become almost a laughingstock, and naturally, they wouldn't stay. They quickly left. As for the other wealthy merchants, they all sent their children to the Dragon Elephant Martial Arts School and engaged in a casual conversation with Gu Yiping. After today, the news that Su Mingwei broke through the Xiantian realm and overwhelmed the Black Wind Hall Master, and Gu Yiping fought 1 against 2 and suppressed the other 2 martial arts hall masters, quickly spread throughout Qianyuan County. Even people in the surrounding area heard about it very quickly. Such a fast speed was naturally due to Su Mingwei's instigation. Dongxi Village. Su family mansion. When Su Chuan heard about this, the corners of his mouth raised slightly, as if it was something he expected. The Su family had long known the foundations of the 3 major martial arts halls, but they did not know the foundation of the Su family. Therefore, it was natural that they were at a disadvantage. And Su Mingwei's archery attainments and Su Chuan's existence will be another trump card of the Su family. Qianyuan County should be stable for a while, Su Chuan muttered to himself, looked up and saw the longbow hanging on the wall. It's time to make a new strong bow for Shi Tao. Chapter 43 Frost Breaks the Clouds. Dad, ever since the Dragon Elephant Martial Arts School became famous, many families have approached our Su family. They also sent their children to the Dragon Elephant Martial Arts School for training. Now there are 60 or 70 apprentices in the martial arts school. Su Mingwei looked at Su Chuan, who was sitting in the head seat of the family in the hall, and the joy on his face was hard to conceal. What about Master Gu? Master Gu is naturally selecting young men who are suitable for the inheritance of the Dragon Elephant sect. Su Mingwei picked up the teacup and took a sip. After putting it down, he continued, however, his requirements are quite high, and he hasn't found a suitable one yet. What about that kid Li Ziyi? Is he still in the Qianlong Martial Arts School? I asked him to leave a few days ago, and now he has entered the Dragon Elephant Martial Arts School. Su Chuan nodded. Li Ziyi's talent is better than Tan Tao. If he is trained with the standards of the Su family's direct lineage, it will not be a problem for him to become a congenital. It is estimated that he will be able to achieve congenital perfection and even challenge the master. You can let Master Gu train him well. If he likes him, you can also let Li Ziyi worship him as a teacher and deepen the relationship with him. Su Mingwei was a little surprised. He didn't expect his father to value Li Ziyi so much. He cupped his hands and said, Dad is still far-sighted. I admire him. By the way, has the blacksmith shop been established? Yeah, then let them forge a strong bow suitable for congenital warriors. Don't be stingy with the materials. Find them whatever they need, but remember to keep it secret. I see, Su Mingwei chuckled. You know it again. Su Chuan looked at his second son, shook his head and laughed. Besides my eldest brother, who else in the family practices archery? This is a gift for your brother. 2 months is no problem, 2 months is more than enough. But, Su Mingwei feigned grievance, I haven't received a gift from my father since I grew up. This is more than just a gift. It's another trump card for my Su family. Shi Tao has reached the Xiantian realm, and his ki is even stronger. The previous black iron bow is slightly insufficient. Only a more powerful one is worthy of it and can maximize his strength. Su Mingwei was curious. How strong can my eldest brother be with a bow and arrow? At long range, he should be able to kill a late Xiantian cultivator. Hiss. Upon hearing this, Su Mingwei's eyes widened in disbelief, and he gasped. Su Chuan's speculation was not random. Although the power of Xiantian ki is strong and can leave the body, it has a limited range and its power decreases with distance. Su Mingwei's natural talent in archery allowed him to suppress an innate warrior from miles away with his bow and arrow, preventing them from inflicting any harm. His innate strength allowed him to draw his bow and shoot arrows for extended periods, and arrows of such power and speed were extremely difficult for an innate warrior to dodge. A single mistake could result in serious injury or even death. Such a killer weapon shouldn't be revealed so easily. Su Mingwei trusted Su Chuan, and his expression grew serious. Father, I'll take care of this. I'll have someone forge a powerful bow that Big Brother will like. For the past 2 months, all was peaceful in Qianyuan County. The Su family's various businesses were also steadily developing. On the 10th day of the 11th month, Su Chuan presented Su Mingwei with a precious bow crafted by Su Mingwei. Brother, this precious bow is truly rare. It took nearly 2 months to craft, and a considerable amount of precious materials was used. Its body is forged from a composite of millennia-old cold iron and sunken wood, achieving a perfect balance of strength and flexibility. The limbs are engraved with delicate frost patterns inlaid with silver thread. The bowstring is crafted from fine snow silk, and the eyelet is inlaid with Lanshan jade. Su Mingwei gently stroked the precious bow, his eyes filled with joy. As for this arrow, it's also extraordinary. The shaft is also forged from millennia-old cold iron, and the feathers are from an exotic silver eagle. These feathers are light yet tough, each one gleaming with a silvery white luster. The tip is polished from obsidian, achieving an incredibly sharp edge. Second brother, that sounds extraordinary, Su Mingxuan said enviously. I want one too. Then you'll have to ask father. He asked me to make it, and do you know how to use a bow and arrow? Su Mingxuan was speechless. Thank you, father, and thank you, Yuan. I love it, Su Mingwei said with genuine joy. Su Chuan smiled faintly. Give it a name. This bow feels icy to the touch, so let's call it the frost bow. As for this arrow, with its silver feathers flying together, it's powerful enough to pierce the clouds and break the air, so let's call it the cloud-breaking arrow. Frost, cloud-breaking, these are good names, Su Chuan said with a smile. Father hopes you can use this bow and arrow to protect the Su family and pierce the heart of your enemies. Yes, father. A little over a month later, it was the annual sacrifice. After the sacrifice, Su Mingwei reached the age of 20. Yang Ronghu was also approaching her due date, and a midwife had already taken up residence in the mansion. Half a month later, Yang Ronghu gave birth. Su Mingwei paced back and forth outside the door, listening to the heartbreaking screams coming from within, sweat dripping from his forehead with anxiety. Even fighting a congenital warrior wouldn't be like this. His eyes were filled with worry. Su Chuan pointed at him and chuckled, Madam, look, I was just as anxious and rushed out before. Now it's our turn. Bai Jing pinched him hard. Madam, be serious, let go, it's my fault. Su Mingwei tried to rush in several times, but was stopped by Su Chuan. Su Mingguan was busy in Qingjiang County, and Su Mingxuan and the others were at the Dragon Elephant Martial Arts School. They only returned to the Su family mansion once every 6 or 7 days. Because Yang Ronghu was giving birth, Su Chuan sent guards to call them back. More than 2 hours later, the door opened, and a maid emerged, smiling. Master, Madam, the eldest son, the eldest young master's wife has given birth to a little boy. Okay, Su Chuan laughed heartily, saying to Su Mingwei, hurry in. Without a word, Su Mingwei rushed into the main room, not even giving the child a chance to glance at him. He was at the bedside like a gust of wind, ruffling Yang Ronghu's soaked hair and holding her hand tightly. Madam, you've worked hard, Yang Ronghu smiled faintly. Despite the qi and blood pills replenishing her qi and blood, she still looked exhausted, her face pale. Just then, Su Chuan and Bai Jing entered. Bai Jing took the baby, wrapped in fine silk, from the midwife's hands and gently rocked it with a loving look in her eyes. My eldest grandson. Su Chuan also came over to take a look, then said to Yang Ronghu, get some rest. Yes, father. Suddenly, Su Mingwei and his siblings arrived. Is my eldest nephew out yet? Su Mingguan called out hurriedly before even entering the room. Be quiet. You're waking up my eldest grandson, or I'll kick you out. Dad, you don't love me anymore now that you have a grandson, Su Mingguan said jokingly. Sure enough, love can be transferred. How the others burst into laughter. Let me see. Su Mingxu leaned over and whispered, I'm your aunt. Call me auntie, it's just been born, how can it talk? Bai Jing said with a smile. Shitao, have you decided on a name? Su Mingwei said, according to the generational inheritance you set, Ming Changwen, Jingyan Changzhou, Wishin Yangji, and Shi's Changzhou, they are the degeneration. I hope this child will become an upright and virtuous person in the future. Let's call him Su Dezhou. The third generation of talent is finally about to appear. Chapter 44 3 Generations of Talent. Dezhou, a gentleman values virtue and has a clear character. Zhaoer, that's a good name. Su Chuan laughed, took Su Dezhou, and made a chuckle sound from his mouth to tease him. Su Mingguan and others also took turns holding him. The birth of Su Dezhou meant that they were no longer the youngest generation in the family, but also the elders. With a difference in status, the mentality will naturally change. On that day, Su Chuan once again rewarded the maids, servants and guards with half a month's wages. Let them also share in the joy. At night, The stars were like ink and could not be seen clearly. Not long after, the sky began to drizzle. Husband, Shitao has married and had children. Next, should we consider Aon? Bai Jing snuggled in Chuan's arms, and suddenly raised her head to look at his face. I have already told him about this matter. Yes, there has been no movement for several months. Bai Jing's voice was a little resentful, and he said again, didn't they say that Wu Fang Wang He Xiao intended to target our Su family? I've inquired about it. The Wu family has a young lady who is exactly the age of Jade. She is the second daughter of the third branch of the head of the family. I heard that she is good at martial arts. If the two families marry, on the one hand, it can solve a Yuan's lifelong event, and on the other hand, it can make the Su family's position in Qianyuan County more stable. What do you think, my husband? I know that my wife is doing this for a Yuan's own good, but I still hope that a Yuan can find someone he likes. Bai Jing was immediately unhappy. It's not all your fault. You asked them to keep themselves clean. They are all legitimate sons of big families, but they don't even have a maid to serve them. Otherwise, I would have had a grandson long ago, and you let a Yuan take charge of such a large family business at such a young age, and urged him to practice martial arts diligently. How can he have time to find a wife? Chuan smiled wryly, hugged her, and soothed her. Okay, it's all my fault, husband. I'll leave it to you. Go talk to Yuan yourself. Thank you, husband. Seeing Chuan's agreement, Bai Jing's expression changed again. Husband, I'll help you tonight. I prefer to do it myself. He rolled over and lay on top of Bai Jing, making love. After Bai Jing fell into deep sleep, Chuan summoned the family tree. The third page was already complete, but it was blank. Only when Su Dezhao dripped blood into the family tree would his information appear. However, despite the lack of information, Chuan could sense the birth talents. There were 7 in total: Shening Herbs, Golden Koi, 9 Palaces Daoyan, Sword Heart Enlightenment, Qian Blood Furnace, Swift Wind Chasing Lightning, and Deep Cave Candle. Qian Blood Furnace is best suited for martial arts, while Swift Wind Chasing Lightning excels at understanding body movements and footwork, increasing speed, deep vision illuminating the subtle insights into the human heart, seeing directly into its essence. This talent cannot be given away lightly. Sword Heart Clear, the sword path doesn't distinguish between martial arts and immortality. Both are applicable, but those obsessed with swords are unsuitable for family leadership. Shening Herbs, those gifted with this fate are skilled in planting, understanding the properties of herbs, and even refining elixirs. It's a perfect match for me. Chuan has devoted himself to farming since childhood, and under Heaven Rewards Diligence, he became a master of agronomy and also excelled in planting. Adding Shening Herbs would certainly be even more powerful. Understanding the properties of herbs would allow him to research medicinal recipes that are more suitable for martial arts, becoming a family legacy. After becoming an immortal cultivator, he could also refine elixirs for the family. Golden Koi, it's an aura of good fortune. I'd better leave it to my children and grandchildren. Chuan shook his head and laughed, feeling overly greedy. Jiagong Daoyan is good at deducing formations. A large formation can become the foundation of a family. Unfortunately, it's a bit early for the Su family now. The next day, Bai Jing came to Su Mingguan's yard. He had already gotten up and was practicing martial arts in his own courtyard. A servant stood by with a handkerchief in hand, and a maid held a teacup, waiting to serve him after Su Mingguan finished. Madam, the servants and maid bowed when they saw Bai Jing coming. Hearing the voice, Su Mingguan also stopped what he was doing, turned his head and looked, then smiled and said, Mother, why are you here so early in the morning? Where's Dad? He's practicing too. He has taught this whole family what to do. Everyone gets up like this early in the morning. Bai Jing shook her head and sighed softly. Mother, Father sets an example, so it's natural for his sons to follow suit. Do you want us brothers to be like the young masters of the aristocratic families in Qianyuan County? Of course not, I'm just complaining. Mother came here to tell you something. Go ahead, Mother. I've chosen the second daughter of the second branch of the head of the Wu family for you. In a few days, I'll invite Madam Wu and Miss Wu to visit my Su family. Come meet them. Let me meet the Miss Wu, Su Mingguan said with a wry smile. Mother, you know the current relationship between the Wu family and our Su family, that's why I want to meet her. If we get married, it will definitely ease the relationship between us, and by the way, it will also help you settle your lifelong event. Does Father know? He promised to let me find one myself. Su Mingyan could only move out of Sichuan, hoping to escape the disaster. I knew it would be like this. Bai Jing's lips curled slightly, a look of pride on her face. I asked your father for permission last night, but, don't say buts. It's settled. I'll let you know when the time comes. Bai Jing raised her hand to stop him. She knew her second son was a gifted talker, capable of making something dead seem alive. If she got him to talk, it wouldn't take more than a few words for her to be convinced. Bai Jing left Su Mingyan's yard. Su Mingyan, distraught, stopped talking. He wiped the sweat off his face, drank a sip of tea, and immediately went to find Su Chuan. Su Chuan was currently practicing the 5 elements creation technique. Yin and Mao face east to swallow the blue mist, Si and Wu face south to drink cinnabar, Shen and Yu face west to inhale the white dew, Hai and Zi face north to sip the black ice, and Chen, Su, Zhou, and Wei guard the huangting. This is the art of gathering qi. It absorbs the 5 elements, replenishes deficiencies in the spiritual roots, and completes the innate creation. It also involves internal visualization and interplay with the external world. It continues throughout the 4 seasons, spring, summer, autumn, and winter. Father, Su Mingyan came up to Su Chuan and bowed. Su Chuan didn't pause or open his eyes, simply saying, "What's the matter, father, you're so wise," asking even though you already know the answer. The voice sounded angry. Su Chuan didn't care, smiling, "It's okay to meet once. It's your fault for being slow. Love doesn't just happen. It takes fate." "Yes, it's fate. Your elder brother and your sister-in-law fell in love at first sight. Are you trying to imitate them?" Su Ming opened his mouth, but he didn't know how to refute. Love at first sight is enviable, but if it really happened, he probably wouldn't meet one until he was 30 or 40. After all, he was busy with a family business. The only people he met outside were the heads of wealthy merchants and families, a bunch of grown men. How could he expect to fall in love with them at first sight? "In your situation, you can only choose someone of equal status," Su Chuan said. "As for love, you can marry first and then fall in love. It's the same for me and your mother." Su Mingyan was speechless. After a moment, he sighed deeply. "We can meet, but I have conditions. The final decision is yours." "Of course, thank you, father." Su Mingyan secured what he wanted and immediately went back to Su Mingwei's courtyard to tell him about it. Su Mingwei laughed heartily. "Mother, this is for your own good. The Wu family is indeed a good choice. Even you, brother, say so. It seems I can't escape." Su Mingyan spread his hands and accepted his fate. Chapter 45. Will you marry me? Ever since Su Chuan was blessed with the innate gift of Shennon's 100 herbs, he practiced a 5 elements creation technique daily and began reading the medical books and herbal tomes Su Mingyan had collected. He also continuously researched the medicinal properties of herbs, and his knowledge of medicine improved rapidly. Su Mingwei occasionally ventured deep into the Broken Tooth Mountains to familiarize himself with frost-breaking clouds, but only for an hour or two. Yang Ronghua, a sensible woman, did not resent Su Mingwei's absence from her life. She even helped Bai Jing manage the Su household. Her effective management earned her praise and the affection of the maids and servants. She understood the Su family's predicament. With the departure of her father, Yang Zhao, the Su family was left alone, forced to face the various aristocratic families of Qianyuan County on their own. As the eldest son, Su Mingwei, the future head of the Su family, was bound to prioritize the Su family. 6 days later, a carriage drove out of Qianyuan County and soon arrived in Dongxi village, stopping at the Su family's gate. Flanking the carriage were 4 mounted guards armed with swords. A servant, driving the carriage, jumped out and fetched a telescopic ladder from the back. A noble woman and a pretty woman with a ponytail alighted, each accompanied by a maid. Zhou Ming, who had been waiting at the door for a long time, stepped forward and asked, "Are you Madame Wu and Miss Wu?" "Yes," the maid replied. "Madame Wu, please follow me. My wife has been waiting for you." "Thank you, Steward Zhou." Madame Wu had been to the Su residence twice before and naturally recognized Zhou Ming. "You are so polite, madam. Please come in." Aside from Madame Wu, Miss Wu, and the maid, everyone else was waiting outside the Su residence. The pretty woman walked along, glancing left and right, her eyes revealing curiosity about the Su family. "Russian, stop looking around. It's disrespectful." Upon hearing this, the pretty woman immediately averted her gaze and said, "Yes, mother, Madame Wu was the principal wife, and the children of concubines were also required to call her mother. As for their own biological mothers, they were called Little Mother. They crossed the front yard and headed towards the main hall. The maids and servants in the front yard were observing them secretly. This is the young lady of the Wu family. She gives off a heroic and valiant vibe, completely different from the wife of the eldest young master. Do you think this young lady of the Wu family can become the wife of our second young master? Are you all asking for punishment for discussing the affairs of the young masters like this? Upon hearing this, they all began to work diligently. The Su family was kind, but their rules were strict, commanding law from the servants. Sister Wu, you've been waiting for me. Bai Jing rose to greet them, a smile on her face, and glanced at the pretty woman. I'd love to spend more time with my sister, but unfortunately, the Wu family's inner chambers require my care, and I don't usually have time. The two exchanged a smile. Please sit down and chat. After the three of them took their seats, the maids stood behind their respective masters. Three of the Su family's maids entered with cakes and tea, placing them on the coffee table beside the three of them. They then silently stepped back a distance before turning and leaving. Bai Jing and Madame Wu chatted about family matters. Soon, Su Mingying entered the hall and bowed to Bai Jing, saying, "Greetings, mother, this is Madame Wu and Miss." Su Mingying turned and bowed to them both, saying, "Greetings, Madam, Miss." As he spoke, he studied them, especially the Miss Wu, who was about to meet him. Her ponytail was tied with a red silk ribbon, and she wore a dress resembling a narrow-sleeved Hu costume. The indigo fabric set her skin off like snow. Her almond-shaped eyes shone like stars, and her eyebrows held a touch of heroic spirit. She was a delight to the eyes. Though not as stunningly beautiful as Yang Ronghua, his heroic bearing held a unique charm. Second young master Su's fame in Qingjiang County is no less than that of first young master Su. Even my husband praises him, saying that having such a child would prosper the family for decades. Bai Jing beamed, a hint of pride between her brows. Sister Wu, you're too kind. Everyone knows that the children you've raised are all exceptionally charming and graceful. After exchanging a few words of praise, Bai Jing invited Madame Wu for a stroll in a private chat, while Su Mingying accompanied Wu Russian on a tour. Su Mingying simply accompanied Wu Russian quietly. In business, he was decisive and shrewd, a skilled trader, but in relationships, he was a complete novice. Suddenly, Wu Russian stopped and turned to look at Su Mingying. Su Mingying also stopped, looking up from where he had been looking down. Second young master Su, don't you have anything to say? Su Mingying remained silent. Wu Russian continued, they say you're incredibly versatile and a business prodigy. Even when facing the heads of various families, you're always cheerful, never losing out. How come you're silent now? Since you don't want to speak, let's have a sparring match, okay? Su Mingying said. The two found a courtyard and began to fight. Wu Russian, eager to fight, took the lead, her long black hair flying wildly with every step. Su Mingying countered her moves. After a dozen or so moves, he had a good idea of her strength. She was actually a third-rate warrior. Not a direct descendant, and a woman. To reach that level at 16 must have taken a lot of effort. No need to give in. Wu Russian, also possessing a fiery temper, spread her arms wide and launched a fierce kick into Su Mingying's chest, swift, accurate, and ruthless. Quick-witted and quick-handed, Su Mingying grabbed her with both hands, stopping her from advancing. Their eyes met, and the two froze in place. Seeing she couldn't pull out, Wu Russian suddenly exerted force from her waist, sweeping her other leg towards his head. Su Mingying reacted quickly and stepped back, barely avoiding the blow. Miss Wu, I apologize for the offense just now. In a martial arts competition, there is no distinction between men and women. Su Mingying was also surprised. He didn't expect that the other woman, who came from a wealthy family, would have such a personality. There was a hint of admiration in his eyes. Miss Wu is so straightforward, then I will accompany you to the end, but the other party was a woman after all. After fighting for a while, Su Mingying accidentally touched her chest, which made him feel like he was electrocuted. He suddenly withdrew his right hand. Then he stopped and apologized. Never mind, you didn't mean it. I overestimated my abilities. Wu Russian's face flushed slightly. And her heart was pounding, but she soon returned to normal. Su Mingying said, Miss Wu is incredibly talented, I'm not as talented as her. If you had the full support of the Wu family, you'd probably surpass my martial arts skills. You really think so? Wu Russian sighed softly. It's a pity that women are ultimately undervalued in this world. My father didn't say that, Su Mingwei said with a smile. He always said that men and women in a family are equal, each with their own strengths. The head of the Su family is truly unique. Wu Russian's eyes sparkled. My father is undoubtedly the most formidable. He's been teaching us, my siblings, everything from childhood to today. Unconsciously, Su Mingwei had switched from father to father. He usually only addressed Su Chuan as father when addressing those close to him. Oh, what were you like as a child? Me, Su Mingwei smiled, a touch of nostalgia playing on his face. He didn't refuse, but simply recounted a few anecdotes from his childhood. Wu Russian was shocked and filled with admiration when she heard that the Su family had once been so poor, living on a mere 10 acres of rice fields. She hesitated for a moment, then made a decision. She looked at Su Mingwei and said, "Second Master Su, what do you think of me? I'm a valiant and heroic woman, as capable as any man. Will you marry me?" Huh? Su Mingwei was startled and stunned. Chapter 46 Marriage. Miss Wu, we've only just met. Will it happen? Su Mingwei hesitated. Will it happen? Your Su family and my Wu family are quite well matched. Now that we've met, I think you're good looking, more powerful than me, and the atmosphere of the Su family is just what I yearn for. I'm willing to marry you. Don't you want to marry me? Could it be that I'm not pleasing to you, second young Master Su, and you despise me? Of course not. Su Mingwei waved his hands repeatedly, a look of frustration in his eyes. Miss Wu is straightforward, unlike any other woman I've met. I admire her, isn't that enough? But we have no feelings for each other. Feelings? Miss Wu chuckled, covering her mouth with her hand. So second young Master Su longs for the kind of love and match made in heaven depicted in vernacular novels, more or less. My eldest brother and his wife are like that. There are such cases in the world, but they are a minority. When aristocratic families marry, they mostly consider family background and character, and whether the marriage will benefit both families. If possible, then we can get married. As for the relationship, we can slowly get along after marriage. If we really can't get along, we can refrain from interfering. I will never hinder second young Master Su from taking a concubine. Miss Wu smiled and added, you are a business prodigy, hailed by the heads of the noble families. How could you not calculate the benefits that a marriage between our two families would bring? Su Mingwei pondered over it, feeling something was amiss, yet also believing it was not a problem. The Su family naturally had no fear of the Wu family, but as the current leading family in Qianyuan County, with a member of his family serving as the Qianyuan County magistrate, the Wu family's foundation was significantly stronger than the Su family's. If he took the lead and truly united the other four families to deal with the Su family would face a very difficult road. A marriage could ease tensions and, with some concessions, buy the Su family several years, or even decades, of development. He believed that by then, the Su family could undoubtedly usurp the title of the leading family. After some hesitation, Su Mingwei sighed, Miss Wu, you've convinced me. I'll tell my mother I'm willing to marry you. As for our relationship, I guess it's something we'll have to cultivate slowly. While both Su Mingwei and Su Mingwei prioritized the Su family, Su Mingwei was more persistent and loyal in his relationships. Having spent years dealing with wealthy and powerful families, he was accustomed to weighing the pros and cons, calculating gains and losses. Even if he longed for a relationship like his elder brother, Su Mingwei, he couldn't avoid making these calculations. Then it's a pleasure working with you. Yes, it's a pleasure working with you. Su Mingwei was at a loss for words, yet he also felt a certain admiration for her. Perhaps only someone with her personality could be so bold. How could an ordinary young lady from an aristocratic family dare to speak so freely and frankly? Afterwards, Su Mingwei told Su Chuan about this. Su Chuan was also slightly taken aback, then smiled and said, women like this are rare in the world. You are so lucky, Aun. The marriage your mother chose for you is very good. She is suitable for my Su family. She wants to pursue a martial arts career. My Su family will fully support her. As for feelings, love grows over time. That's how it is between me and your mother. If I had been so picky, I'm afraid there wouldn't be boys like you. Don't worry about the marriage. Your mother will take care of it for you. Remember to treat her well after she marries you. Yes, father. Late at night, Su Chuan also praised Bai Jing, saying that she had found a good match. I have been with my husband for so long. I naturally know what kind of woman he appreciates. I'm not marrying her. Why should I pick the one I like? Chuan shook his head and laughed. Because my husband is the head of the family, your position in the hearts of the children is much higher than mine. If you're not satisfied, they'll give up on you even if they like you. Chuan thought about it, and it seemed to be true. Madam, you understand me. Thank you for your hard work in hosting the Wu family today. I'll reward you well. You look like a fool. Su Mingsun and the others heard the news and congratulated Su Mingyan. The Wu family had discussed this marriage for a long time, and they agreed to it by trading a concubine's daughter, whom they didn't value, for some of the Su family's interests. As for whether to deal with the Su family later, they could wait and see. A mere in-law relationship was insignificant to a century-old family and could be severed at any time. The Wu family. Yaolin Courtyard. This was the courtyard where the second wife of the Wu family patriarch lived. Wu Russian had grown up here. A lady in bright clothes entered the courtyard and saw Wu Russian practicing boxing. Shaner, good news, my dear. Wu Russian paused, wiped the sweat from her forehead, and bowed. Shaner, your father has agreed to the marriage with the Su family. The second son of the Su family is considered one of the best in Qianyuan County, both in character and appearance, and you will be marrying into the family as the principal wife. Finally, you can live a good life. Madame Yanli lowered her head, took out a handkerchief, and wiped the tears from her eyes. Wu Russian was her daughter, born a concubine, rebellious, and fond of martial arts, which displeased her father. It was a blessing from heaven that she had found such a good husband. No, we have to go to Yunnan Temple to fulfill our vow tomorrow. You come with me, I see, little lady. Wu Russian was delighted, and then she asked curiously, by the way, little lady, do you know why father agreed? Did he get something promised by the Su family? I don't know, but this is a matter between the Su family and your father. What does it have to do with you? Don't ask too much. Just stay at home and wait to get married. Have you set a date for the wedding? It's a long time yet. The 3 letters and 6 engagements haven't even been signed. Why are you in such a hurry to get married? Madame Yanli smiled and said, the last time I went to the Su family with the eldest lady, I met the second son of the Su family, right? How is he? Is he the same as the rumors? He is not very handsome, but he is handsome, modest and polite. Although he is known as a business genius and is busy with business, he has not forgotten to practice martial arts. His strength is above mine. It seems that you really like the boy from the Su family, girl, that's good. I finally put my mind at ease. Oh, and I remember there's a girl in his family, about 10 years old. Who'd be a perfect match for your brother Fenger? I can help you get married. If you can marry the Su family's legitimate daughter, Fenger will definitely win respect in front of your father. Wu Russian smiled faintly and agreed casually. A month passed in the blink of an eye. The full moon banquet for the Su family's eldest grandson was held. Naturally, many guests were invited to celebrate. While King Wu Feng came to congratulate Xiao, only the Wu family came. Many wealthy families and merchants were surprised to see the Wu family's wife and several others arrive. How strange. The Wu family was so at odds with the Su family not long ago, and today they're here to celebrate for their eldest grandson. Many families were confused. When everyone was almost done eating and drinking, Chuan suddenly announced, everyone, I would like to thank you all for coming to my grandson's full moon banquet today. Besides that, I have another happy announcement. My son, Mingyan, will be engaged to the daughter of the head of the Wu family in 6 months. As for the wedding date, I've discussed it with the head of the Wu family, and since they're both still young, we've decided to hold the wedding in October of next year. Haha, congratulations, head of the Su family. Your family is truly blessed with so much good news. Yes, I didn't expect to be so quietly connected to the Wu family. The heads of the families raised their glasses in congratulations. Chuan said, it's all thanks to the head of the Wu family for giving me face. Otherwise, how could my son have asked to marry his beloved daughter? His words were flawless, giving the Wu family a good reputation. Master Su, you're too polite. My daughter is marrying above her station. Come, brother Wu, today we must have a good drink. The next day, word of this incident spread throughout Qianyuan County. The 4 families of Fang, Wang, He, and Xiao all visited the Wu family and left an hour later. As for what they discussed, no one knows. However, Qianyuan County remained calm. Chapter 47 Fire Virtual Bloodline. Su Deziao, 3rd generation of the Su family, age, 1, spiritual roots, incomplete 5 elements, no aptitude for cultivation, talent, none, bloodline, pseudo-fire virtual bloodline, Ninth rank, realm, none. Note, pseudo-fire virtual bloodline allows for twice the results with half the effort in martial arts cultivation. Fire-based martial arts moves or spells can increase their power by 10 to 20%. The next day, Chuan summoned Su Mingwei and informed him that Su Dezhao possessed a pseudo-fire virtual bloodline. Fire virtual bloodline? Yes, I'm surprised too. Chuan had originally thought Su Dezhao would inherit Su Mingwei's strength and eyes. But he had neither, and instead possessed fire virtual bloodline. The fake fire virtual bloodline is all of the 9th rank. I wonder what rank the real fire virtual bloodline is. As Chuan pondered, Su Mingwei lowered his head and speculated, "Father, do you think it could be the Yang family's bloodline? The Yang family has gone through 400 years, and almost every generation has produced masters, so it's not impossible." Su Mingwei was a little excited. "It seems I have to find Zhao a superior fire-based martial art as soon as possible, otherwise his martial arts talent will be buried." "You're really worried too much?" Chuan saw his thoughtful consideration for his children and laughed. "Zhao has Yang family blood after all. I don't think the Yang family will be too stingy. At worst, they can make an exchange." "Father is right. I'll go back and ask Ronghua." Su Mingwei hurried back to his bedroom. Chuan began to practice the innate 5 elements creation technique. Seeing Su Mingwei coming back in a hurry, Yang Ronghua raised her head with a look of surprise. "Husband, didn't father look for you? Why did you come back so soon?" "We're done talking." Su Mingwei walked to her side, looked at Su Dezhao in the crib, and when he opened his eyes, he giggled and teased him. "Husband, he is looking at you." "Well, his eyes look like mine, his nose looks like yours, and his overall features look like yours. He will definitely be a handsome young man in the future. I can only say that your Yang family's bloodline is indeed extraordinary." "Husband, you are joking. By the way, madam, what kind of martial arts does your Yang family practice?" "There should be several kinds. I am not very clear, but the ones my father and brother practice seem to be called Fire Yuan Ju and Xianshan Fire Virtue Guang." "Fire Virtue?" Su Mingwei was shocked. "It is indeed the bloodline of the Yang family. I just don't know if the other people in the Yang family have true fire virtue bloodline or false fire virtue bloodline." "No, most of them should be worse than Zhao. If everyone has a 9th grade bloodline, wouldn't everyone be able to become a Xianshan, or even a master?" Just as Su Mingwei fell into deep thought, Yang Ronghua asked in confusion, "Husband, why did you suddenly mention my Yang family's martial arts? I think Zhao has the bloodline of the Yang family, and may be more suitable for practicing the Yang family's martial arts, so I want to ask for a copy for him." "Bloodline? I actually heard my brother mention it beforehand. He once said that if his bloodline were pure, he might be able to achieve the Xianshan stage before the age of 20, like some of the best in the clan." "Really? Does your Yang family have a way to test bloodlines?" "Yes." Yang Ronghua thought for a moment. "How about this? I'll write a letter to my father to tell them about Zhao's news, and if possible, have my brother come over. If Zhao's bloodline is strong, then he can practice our Yang family's techniques in the future." Yes, although Su Mingwei knew the secret of Su Dezhao's bloodline, he couldn't explain how he knew it. So, he kept it to himself. 3 days later. Yuhu County, Yang's family. Yang Shichen received a letter from a servant. Seeing the signature, a smile immediately broke out. "Why are you so happy, my husband?" Yang Shichen had married Wenjing, the eldest daughter of the Wen family, several months ago. She was now pregnant. "My sister wrote," Yang Shichen said with a smile. "Sister Ronghua? It's a shame we didn't get to meet her at our wedding. I heard she's so stunningly beautiful she could shame the moon and the flowers." Yang Shichen just smiled and said nothing more. Wenjing then added, "I also heard that Sister Ronghua was originally going to marry my second brother. Why did she marry into a small family?" Upon hearing this, Yang Shichen's joy faded a bit. Their marriage was arranged, and they didn't have much deep feelings. And Wenjing kept mentioning her Wen family, which made him feel a little disgusted. If she wasn't pregnant, Yang Shichen would probably have scolded her outright. "Your Wen family is late after all. My sister was promised to someone else long before the two families got married. We've already gone through the formalities of asking for marriage license, receiving the marriage proposal, and accepting the betrothal gifts. All that's left is to choose the date and welcome the bride. My Yang family also has to maintain its reputation. It's not like we're all single. We can't just back out." Wenjing smiled faintly and stroked her belly. "My husband, don't worry. I'm just a little curious and asked casually. Yes, Yang Shicheng nodded lightly and said, you're weak. Go to your room and rest. I'll go to mother. With that, he took the letter and went to Madame Yang's room. Madame Yang was also very happy to see the letter, and tears welled up in the corners of her eyes. After wiping it clean, she opened the envelope and began to read, smiling as she said, your sister wrote to say she's given birth to a son, Su Dezhao? Is that the Zhao character from Dad's name? Yes, what else did your sister say? She said she's very happy in the Su family, and we're living in harmony. She asked how we were doing and that she missed us terribly. I do miss my sister, Yang Shicheng said with a nostalgic look. Yang Zhao had only one son and one daughter, and they had been very close since childhood. Suddenly, he noticed his mother's expression change slightly, and she asked again, what's wrong? Is there something wrong with the Su family? No, whoever wants you to go and test your nephew's bloodline. If it's strong, he'll practice the Yang family's martial arts from the age of 6, testing bloodline. Yang Shicheng was also surprised. Madame Yang thought for a moment. Wait until your father comes back tonight and ask his opinion. After all, family martial arts can't be passed down privately. That night, Yang Zhao read the letter and saw Su Dezhao's name, and a smile spread across his face. But when he saw that they were going to test her bloodline, he paused. Huer is far away in Qianyuan County, and we can't take care of her. Now that she's asked, as a father, I naturally have to satisfy her. I'll go to the head of the family tomorrow. I think, given my reputation, he'll give me a bloodline stone. As for the family martial arts, we'll discuss other matters after testing Zhao's bloodline. If it's truly strong, then naturally, practice the inherited martial arts of my Yang family. He turned to look at Yang Shicheng. Changer, wait for me to fetch the bloodline stone, and then you can go to Qianyuan County. Yes, Dad. The next day, Yang Zhao borrowed the bloodline stone. Yang Shicheng settled Wen Jing down, and early the next morning, he rode to Qianyuan County. 2 days later, he arrived at Dongxi village. The guard at the gate saw someone riding up and immediately shouted, who are you? This is the Su family's private residence. Trespassing is not allowed. It's young Master Yang. Another servant, who had seen Yang Shicheng many times before, immediately recognized him and said with a smile, don't blame me, young Master Yang. He was just hired not long ago and has never met you before. Yang Shicheng nodded and dismounted. Led by another servant, he went to the Nanshan courtyard where Su Mingwei was staying. Chapter 48 Yang Shicheng arrives. Sister, brother-in-law, arriving at Nanshan courtyard, Yang Shicheng saw Su Mingwei strolling with Yang Ronghua, who held a baby wrapped in silk cloth in her arms. Both of them were smiling and teasing. Seeing this scene, Yang Shicheng felt completely relieved. Brother, you're here. Yang Ronghua burst into tears of joy upon seeing his brother. As he approached, Su Mingwei bowed and said, Uncle, come, let me see my eldest nephew. Yang Shicheng took Su Dezhao from Yang Ronghua's hands, also smiling and teasing. Su Dezhao's dark eyes stared at Yang Shicheng. Call me uncle, quick, call me uncle, don't cry or make a fuss, you're quite brave. Yang Shicheng laughed heartily and returned it to Yang Ronghua, saying, it's the same name as Dad's. He's very happy too. Dezhao, what does it mean? A gentleman values virtue and has a clear character. My husband chose it for me. Yes, Yang Shicheng nodded and walked with the two of them. I brought a bloodstone to test the Yang family's bloodline. As for martial arts texts, that's easy to say, but our family's martial arts traditions are rarely passed down to outsiders. Dad meant that if Zhao's bloodline is strong, he'll naturally apply to the family. That's right, Su Mingwei said. They arrived at Su Mingwei's study, and Yang Shicheng began testing his bloodline. He also used a drop of blood. Su Dezhao burst into tears after the injection, and Yang Ronghua hurried to comfort him. The pigeon egg-sized bloodstone suddenly glowed with a pure red light. A look of joy appeared on Yang Shicheng's face. Sure enough, he has inherited the martial arts bloodline of my Yang family, and it is very pure, far better than mine. With this bloodline, he will surely become a congenital if he practices alone. If he is trained with all his strength, he will have no problem becoming a grandmaster, and there is even a 3-point hope of reaching the perfection of the grandmaster level. If my Yang family can produce such a unicorn child, my father will probably be grinning from ear to ear. Zhao is also the bloodline of the Yang family, so he is naturally considered a member of the Yang family. Haha, that's right, I'm narrow-minded. Yang Ronghua looked over with a smile. Sure enough, It was right to let my brother make the trip, so that Zhao's talent will not be buried. Then I will go back to the county city in the afternoon and tell my father the good news. So soon? My uncle rushed here for Zhao's matter, and my Su family hasn't treated him well yet. Just treat me to a drink at noon. I miss the wine from your Qianyuan Fang very much. Yang Shichen patted Su Mingwei on the shoulder. Everything in your Su family's property is good, and it is rare even in the county city. Similar items would cost more than double or triple in the county town. I really miss your fine wines and delicacies. By the way, does your Su family have any intention of developing in the county town? Zhao has this talent, and with my father's recommendation, my Yang family should lend a hand and help your Su family take root in the county town. Su Mingwei didn't say everything. He smiled and said, business matters are all handled by my second brother. Even my father rarely asks about it. However, from my observation, he should have had this idea in the last 1 or 2 years. After all, my Su family hasn't yet completely established a solid foundation in Qianyuan County. Haha. Brother-in-law is so humble. Even if your Su family isn't the #1 family in Qianyuan, it's still among the best. Su Mingwei smiled without saying a word. He didn't respond directly, but said, since my uncle likes the things of my Su family, when you go back this afternoon, bring some perfume to your mother-in-law, and leave the fine wine for my uncle and father-in-law. By the way, if my sister-in-law is pregnant, remember not to let her use it, otherwise it will affect the fetus. Thank you, brother-in-law, Yang Shichen said. By the way, brother-in-law, let's have a sparring match. I'm now at the peak of the acquired realm, just one step away from becoming an innate warrior. With 2 or 3 years of practice, I'll definitely be able to reach that level. That speed is much faster than my father's back then. Yang Ronghu pursed his lips slightly, and without saying anything, he stood in the courtyard corridor, quietly watching the 2 men compete, accompanied by a maid. Su Mingwei accompanied Yang Shichen in a sparring match. After it was over, Yang Shichen was sweating profusely, his pupils constricting unsteadily. As for Su Mingwei, there was not much change. It was really refreshing. Yes, Su Mingwei agreed. No, Yang Shichen quickly discovered something wrong. Your breath is not disordered at all. You haven't broken through to the innate realm, have you? I remember that it's been less than 2 years since you reached the peak of the acquired realm. It's so difficult to feel the power of heaven and earth and to draw ki into your body by yourself, even with the help of the ki drawing pill. It will take half a year or even more than a year. Yang Shichen's eyes were full of disbelief. At this moment, Yang Ronghu walked over, handed him a handkerchief, and chuckled, brother, my husband entered the Xianshan realm over half a year ago, and because the Su family wanted to open a martial arts school, they were targeted by the 3 major martial arts schools in Qianyuan County. At the opening, he single-handedly defeated the owner of the Black Wind Martial Arts School, Hefang Martial Arts School owner. Yang Shichen's heart was shocked again. That 60-year-old owner Wang, he's been a Xianshan for over a decade. How could you defeat him? He walked around Su Mingwei, finally sighing and giving a thumbs up, saying, I have to admire your talent. Perhaps it's because Zhao is your offspring that the Yang family bloodline is so pure. By the way, I've been here for a long time and haven't paid my respects to your father yet. It's really rude. Brother-in-law, take me to pay my respects, okay? In the afternoon, Yang Shichen rode back to the county town. He had everything he needed, but since he was on horseback, he couldn't bring much. Sister, brother-in-law, if you have time, come to Yuhu County. I will definitely treat you well. Yang Ronghu had come to Qianyuan County with Yang Zhao and his wife shortly after she was born, and she had no memory of the county town. She watched Yang Shichen's back disappear over the horizon before lowering her head and wiping away her tears. Su Mingwei pulled her into his arms. Don't worry, we'll definitely go to the county town to visit my uncle, father-in-law, and mother-in-law when we have the chance. It won't be long. He knew his father's ambitions well. Qianyuan County would ultimately be too big to hide the Su family's hidden dragon. It was May. 3 months had passed without rain. The weather was exceptionally hot, and the rice paddies had almost dried up. Even the river levels had dropped drastically, making it impossible to irrigate the paddies. Many people wailed as their rice crops died. For them, these were the very foundation of their survival. The Su family had over 500 acres of rice paddies, 300 acres of farmland, and 300 acres of forest, so naturally, the impact had its effects. But thanks to prompt action, it's still within acceptable limits. Over the past month, the prices of fruits, vegetables, and grain in Qianyuan County have been rising steadily. Some commoners in Dongxi village, unable to make ends meet, have sold their rice paddies and farmland to the Su family, becoming hired laborers. Currently, only the Su family can afford to hire them. The Su family has been declining in recent years, and many of the servants and maids have been dismissed, not to mention the hired laborers. Winks in courtyard. Su Chuan's study. Brothers Su Mingwei and Su Mingyan are both here. Father, we've recently acquired over 400 acres of rice paddies, over 300 acres of farmland, and over 200 acres of forest. Although the price is less than half of what it used to be due to the drought, without rain, the drought will only worsen. We don't know when it will end, and we can't keep doing this, can we? A frown formed between Su Mingwei's brows, hinting at a hint of worry. Su Mingyan stood nearby, his expression equally solemn. They're all from the same village. If we don't help them now, they might all become beggars or even starve to death. Is father trying to win over the people? Su Mingyan lowered his eyelids slightly, then looked up at Su Chuan. Thank you to fellow Taoist 1539085747460538368 for the reward. I wish you longevity. If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means it was downloaded and re-uploaded without effort. We warmly invite you to visit our channel, Fanfic World. There you will find the original version of this story and many other novels of various genres. We look forward to seeing you dive into a world of incredible novels. Chapter 49, Drought. Winning the hearts of the people is one of them. Su Chuan smiled and nodded slightly. A severe drought is a life-threatening situation for ordinary people, but for wealthy merchants, it's a matter of how much they will lose. Some who only care about immediate profits will sell their land, but wise people will endure. When the drought reaches a certain level, the Wei dynasty will not sit idly by and will definitely send people to resolve it. With the immortal cultivators here, the drought is not a problem, it will be resolved sooner or later. Our perfume, various wines, medicinal herbs, and other businesses all rely on the land. The more we accumulate this land, the deeper our family's heritage. Su Mingyan pondered for a moment and nodded. Father, you make sense. If these pillar industries don't have our own foundation to support them, and most of them are acquired from others, wouldn't we be strangled by others, which would be greatly detrimental to the rapid development of our Su family? A great disaster is also a great opportunity. Su Mingwei's eyes lit up, and he understood. Whether it's people or land, my Su family wants them all. Su Chuan's words were powerful and unquestionable. However, the drought's resolution is uncertain. It could take months or even a year. Therefore, I've devised some ways to minimize our family's losses. He then lifted some manuscript paper from the desk, covered in drawings and annotations. Take a look. The two brothers leaned their heads together, flipping through the pages. The light in their eyes grew brighter, and their smiles widened. Su Mingwei's eyes sparkled, and he exclaimed with delight, Father, you're amazing. With this water wheel and pipe design, we only need to recruit a team of people to build it. We can significantly reduce the loss of food in the rice fields, as well as the fruits and vegetables from the farmlands and forests. We can also fully utilize the manpower of our newly recruited servants, preventing waste. This black gauze's method of blocking direct sunlight is very novel. Does it really absorb heat? Su Mingwei was equally delighted and a little curious. He had originally thought that the Su family would suffer significant losses due to the drought. But if all of Su Chuan's methods worked, the drought would only affect a 10th or 20th of the population at most. It might even cause prices to rise. The Su family could profit several times over their usual profits. Some hand-cranked hair dryers will probably sell like hotcakes, too. Oh, and we have a secret ice-making recipe. Paired with this, it's sure to be a hit. As for saltpeter, the Su family only secretly mined a small amount each summer. This was kept secret, and no one knew about it. Su Chuan smiled. Keep it secret. We'd rather not do this business than let anyone discover it. After all, that mountain forest doesn't belong to our Su family yet. I know the importance of this, Su Mingyan assured with a smile. Let's get back to work. Yes, Father. The two of them bowed, took their manuscripts, and left the study. Su Chuan then left, heading to Behan to check on the medicinal herbs. Over 10 acres of land had been cultivated there, specifically for growing herbs, all of which were rare. A 20-year-old plant would be worth at least 10 or 20 taels, with the most valuable being 40 or 50. The harvest from these 10 acres of medicinal fields would be immensely valuable. However, Su Chuan cultivated the medicinal herbs not for profit, but to refine them and prepare medicinal foods. The spiritual energy here is richer than elsewhere, which increases the growth rate of the herbs. Besides the herbs, there's also a small tree growing here. It's barely more than half a meter tall, with a trunk as thick as an arm and verdant branches and leaves. It grew from a seed obtained by cutting open the hard black fruit Su Mingwei brought back. Su Chuan diligently studied medicine and medicinal food recipes, researching the properties of numerous herbs. After months of effort, he refined the dragon elephant sex secret medicinal food formula, making it suitable for most warriors and 30% to 40% more potent than the original. However, due to its potent properties, it can only be taken once every 3 days. Because of its preciousness, it's currently only available to Su Mingwei and a few others. As for the innate medicinal food, Su Chuan is still experimenting with its refinement. For the time being, the two of them are using the dragon elephant sex innate medicinal food to aid their cultivation. When the many prominent families in Qianyuan County learned of the Su family's excessive charity, recruiting workers and land on a large scale, they scoffed, mocking their shallow background and lack of experience in dealing with disasters. After all, given the drought, they were fortunate to avoid layoffs and losses. Yet, the Su family went the other way, becoming the laughingstock of the Qianyuan clans. Dongxi village. The Bai family. Bai Fu, his son Bai Hui, and Bai Fang's son-in-law's family had partnered to rent hundreds of acres of farmland and cultivate fruit and vegetables. Because of their in-laws in the Su family, Su Mingwei waived the rent for their stalls in the West Market. Over the past year or two, their fortunes had improved considerably. From ordinary people, they had become modestly wealthy. In the first half of this year, they even pooled funds to purchase the hundreds of acres of land they had previously purchased and then rented another 100 acres. But who could have imagined that within 2 months, before the fruit and vegetable crops were even harvested, a drought would strike. And it was a drought rarely seen in a century. Now, both families gathered at Bai Fu's home to discuss the matter. Everyone's brows were furrowed, their faces gloomy, as if they had swallowed earth. "Father-in-law, how do you think this should be resolved?" Bai Fu sat down, puffed on his cigarette, and remained silent. "Brother-in-law, where do you get this from? You readily agreed to it at the beginning. How can you blame my father now?" Bai Hu said with a little dissatisfaction in his eyes. "We all pooled the money together, so we will naturally bear the responsibility together if there's any problem. Besides, our two families have made a lot of money in the past 2 years. Although the loss this time is not small, it is not to the point of being unable to survive." Bai Fang hurriedly said, "Ahua, your brother-in-law is just anxious. After all, his Zheng family has a large population and huge expenses. You should be tolerant and understanding. Why don't you go find your eldest sister? She loves you the most. Now she is the mistress of the Su family. As long as she is willing to help, it should not be difficult. I heard that the Su family is also harvesting land recently. Why not sell it to the Su family at the original price?" Bai Hui immediately scolded, "Second sister, do you know what the price of land is now? Ordinarily people can't make a living. What's the use of asking for land? You still have the nerve to ask for the original price from your eldest sister. If you want to go, go. Anyway, I won't go. Besides, your eldest sister never cares about the affairs of the Su family's outer house. You know a thing or two about it. My eldest brother-in-law is still the boss of the Su family." Bai Fang blushed, her face flushing as she began to argue. "But you were the one who started this. If you don't speak up, who will? Are we just going to shoulder the responsibility for this loss? We're in a drought, and there's no telling when it'll end. The harder it gets, the harder it gets. Our families aren't as wealthy as the Su family. Who can handle this?" "Okay, stop arguing," Bai Fu snorted, tapping his pipe on the table, sending sparks flying. "I'll go." "Okay, I'll go now." Bai Fu stood up and trudged towards the Su family's residence. The Su family's newly built mansion was no longer the site of the original courtyard, but a remote location far from the village. After all, they needed a large tract of land, and demolishing other houses was out of the question. It took Bai Fu over 2/4 of an hour to reach the Su family's gate. He looked up at the Su family's magnificent compound, his eyes filled with both relief and emotion. He had agreed to Su Chuan's proposal because he valued his farming skills. If Bai Jing married him, at least she would have enough to eat and drink. Who would have thought that in just over a decade, the Su family would be brought to heights he could never have imagined? On the day the Su family was founded, nearly all the wealthy families of Qianyuan were present. What a grand occasion! Master Bai's here. Are you here to see the head of the family or the mistress, my daughter? He walked straight through the door, no one trying to stop him. The maids and servants who saw him greeted him, not daring to be disrespectful. He had been there for Su Dejiao's birth and full moon banquets, so he was naturally familiar with the place. Dad, how did you find time to come today? Are you here to see Zhao? Bai Jing was overjoyed. Chapter 50 Bai Jing's Plan. In the main hall, Bai Jing was teasing Su Dejiao in her arms, with Yang Rongho standing next to her. Bai Fu stepped forward and stuck his head out to look at Su Dejiao. Su Dejiao seemed to have seen something interesting, and he stretched out his arms like lotus root nodes, as if he wanted the pipe in Bai Fu's hand. You can't play with this, Bai Fu said with a smile, his eyes full of love. Dad, you are old, smoke less, Bai Jing said. I know, did something happen? Did that kid Ahua get into trouble? Bai Jing sensed something wrong and half guessed. Not really, it's just that, Bai Fu was a little embarrassed to speak. His family had poor vision and was eager for quick success and instant benefits, which led to losses. Letting his daughter make up for it was really difficult for him, an honest man. As for telling Su Chuan, he was even more shameless. Dad, why should you be embarrassed to talk to me? If you have any difficulties, just tell me. Yang Rongho was smart and said with a smile, Mother, I think Zhao is hungry too. I'll take him back to feed him first. Yes, Bai Jing nodded. After she left, Bai An said, You've picked a good wife for Shitao. She wasn't chosen by my daughter, but by Shitao himself. Rongho was born into a noble family. The Yang family has a very good upbringing and has brought her up very well. Unlike Zuji, who is like a crazy girl since she was young, now practices martial arts all day and is like a boy, Zuji was taught by Sanshu, so she won't be bad. After a moment of silence, Bai Fu finally told the story of himself and Bai Fang's family. Yuan never told me. This is the first I've heard of our Su family acquiring so many people and land. 100 acres of farmland isn't a huge sum. Bai Jing smiled and said, I have some personal money. I'll pay for it. Do you have that much money? Don't you have to pay the Su family, going to Qianyuan County to buy things, having tea with the ladies of the aristocratic families, and so on, all require expenses, so I have some money. Besides, Yuan sends me 100 or 2 taels every 2 or 3 months. Now, I probably have 7 or 8,000 taels on hand. Yuan is such a filial and good child. Bai Fu's mouth twitched slightly, as if a heavy burden had been lifted from his heart. Different levels, different perspectives. The concerns of the Bai and Zheng families were trivial to his daughter, and even less so to the Su family. Yuan is in charge of all the properties of the Su family. I don't know how much money passes through his hands every day. Bai Jing stood up while speaking, walked to her dressing table, and said, Dad, wait for me. Bai Jing took out a gold-painted mahogany box from the drawer, opened it, took out 2,000 taels, and gave it to Bai Fu. Bai Fu took a look and immediately wanted to return part of it. You don't need so much, you can keep the rest and make yourself and mother live more comfortably. Just consider it your daughter's kindness. Okay, then, there's no need to tell Sanshu about this. Bai Jing chuckled when she heard this and said, Dad, do you think my husband will look down on the Bai family because of this? You really worry too much? My husband is still the same husband as before. By the way, Dad, what are your plans for the future? Me? I'm already this old, and it's good enough to be able to enjoy my old age. What about the Bai family? My younger brother is the only male in our family. What will happen to him in the future? Bai Fu pondered for a long time without saying a word. How about, once this matter is settled, you talk to my brother and have him become a vassal of the Su family, just like the Chen family did? With my help, the Bai family will surely prosper within 10 to 20 years. With the Su family's training, perhaps even a martial arts master will emerge from our Bai family's descendants, and perhaps even a congenital warrior in the future. Even if I'm gone, my brother is still Shitao and Aeon's uncle, and they will certainly help me. Within 3 generations, as long as I'm here, the Bai family will have no worries. Then I'll go back and ask your brother. After all, he's the one making the main decision, and as for me, I don't have much time left. Bai Fu returned home. After taking the title deed from Zheng's son-in-law and dividing the silver with him, he and his wife said goodbye and left. Dad, I really can't stand the Zheng family's attitude. When they want something, they're all flattering, calling me brother, but when problems arise, they're all aggressive. Bai Hu said, by the way, this won't affect my sister, will it? Don't worry about your sister, Bai Fu thought for a moment, then relayed Bai Jing's intentions to Bai Hua. Merge into the Su family? Become a vassal of the Su family, Bai Hua murmured softly. Don't underestimate the Chen family's current servitude to the Su family, they're focused on the future. A family like the Su family, capable of rising to prominence in a single generation, is rare in Qianyuan County in hundreds of years. Without the resources and training of an aristocratic family, it's incredibly difficult to produce a true genius, but if we can ride on the Su family's momentum, perhaps our Bai family can also stand out and rise to prominence in a few decades. Bai Fu paused. After hearing this, Bai Hua pondered for a moment and said, okay, I'll go to the Su family in a few days to discuss this. If it weren't for this once-in-a-century drought, Bai Hua would have been reluctant. But the current situation had made things clear for him. Ordinary families simply couldn't cope with natural disasters or man-made calamities. Unless they could produce a great talent like the Su family, it was uncertain whether their legacy could continue. Not to mention the entire Great Way, countless aristocratic families have risen and fallen in Qianyuan County alone. Every century, a new generation is eliminated. Even the Wu family, Qianyuan's foremost aristocratic family, has only been around for nearly 200 years. Whether it will continue to thrive or decline in the next century remains to be seen. If the Chen family hadn't had a bond with Chuan, the Su family probably wouldn't have accepted them as a vassal. The same goes for his Bai family. In the eyes of the aristocratic families, they were simply not worthy enough. A few days later, Bai Hua went to the Su family to discuss this matter with Su Mingwei, much to his surprise. The Su family would naturally offer some assistance to Bai Jing's family, but only to a limited extent. Uncle, I need to consult my father about this matter. I'll give you an answer tomorrow. Is that okay? Okay, as you say, Shitao. During the day, Su Chuan would either practice martial arts or visit the Biham Pond to tend to the medicinal herbs. He returned home after the golden crow set in the west. Su Mingwei told him about this. Why would your uncle mention becoming our vassal for no apparent reason? I've heard about this. The Bai family suffered significant losses during this drought. A few months ago, they bought 100 acres of rented farmland, then rented another 100 acres. But when the drought hit, they were helpless. Mother paid for them to buy all the land. Perhaps it was Mother who suggested it. Su Chuan twirled his short beard, pondered for a moment, then raised his head and chuckled. Your mother has broadened her horizons and started to make plans for her family. That fulfills your mother's wishes. Yes, father. 2 days later, the Bai family was merged into the Su family. Bai Hua's 6-year-old son was sent to the Dragon Elephant Martial Arts School, where he was trained like the Su family's selected young men of aptitude. The Dragon Elephant Martial Arts School has 3 levels of training. The first level is naturally for Su Mingxuan, the direct descendants of the Su family, who now consume the secret medicinal diet developed by Su Chuan. The second class consists of children of servants and guards with good bones and the potential for innate talent. They use the secret medicinal diet of the Dragon Elephant sect. The third class consists of children of wealthy merchants from other families who paid tuition to join. They use the ordinary medicinal diet collected by the Su family. During the drought, all the major families only wanted to avoid losses. Only the Su family continued to accumulate strength. In the future, I will change it to posting 2 chapters at noon to facilitate fellow Daoists to read. By the way, I ask for votes, investment, and follow-up reading. End of this chapter. Thank you so much for reading until the end. Don't forget to give it a like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription or donation encourages us to continue. Thank you all. See you in the next video.